WB20, the Bay Area's WB.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen.
Welcome to Market Street in San Francisco, California for WB20's exclusive live television coverage of the 31st Annual San Francisco Pride Parade, the world's most exciting celebration of diversity. This year's live broadcast is presented by Bud Light, for the great taste that won't fill you up and never let you down. By Body Time, for 30 years the original bath and body care company. And by 77 Maiden Lane Salon and Spa. Spend an hour or spend a day. Now, live from the WB20 Market Street television set, here are your San Francisco 2001 Pride Parade hosts, WB20 news anchors Lisa Kim and Brad Hicks.
Welcome and good morning to you all. It is the 31st Annual Gay Pride Parade. I'm Lisa Kim.
And I'm Brad Hicks. Thanks so much for being with us here on this Sunday morning. That rumble you hear in the background is the beginning of this 31st Gay Pride Parade here in San Francisco, known as the Women's Motorcycle Contingent. You probably know them, the household name, Bikes on Dykes.
And this year's theme, Brad, is queerific. We were talking.
Queerific.
Yeah, that's right. And here comes the Women's Motorcycle Contingent coming down Market Street right now,
Literally
revving their engine.
Hundreds and hundreds of women on motorcycles. This is the most, they have started since 1979. This has been how the Gay Pride Parade has started, with the Dykes on Bikes and the big celebration. The rumble gets the juices going.
You know, this is the 23rd year that the Women's Motorcycle Contingent has been in the Gay Pride Parade, and it gets better and bigger every year.
I don't know if they can hear us down there on the street right now. We have Lord Martine, the pop culture writer for the Chronicle, and our own WB20's Lisa Bernard reporting for us.
Let's call her Lady Lisa for today. Lady Lisa, Lord Martine.
Hey there, Brad. Well, we are in the midst of the Dykes on Bikes, and it is quite an exciting start to Pride 2001.
I'm telling you, it is absolutely terrific, and I don't care how many times I've heard that rumble, it still gets my motors going. Let me tell you.
And it's getting everybody's motors going. The crowd is getting really excited down here today. They love this parade every year. Here we are for the first year.
The weather is perfect. The party's down here. If you're not down here getting your boogie on, we hope you're on your couch getting your boogie on, and we're here to bring it all to you. Pride 2001.
Hey, are you guys getting any hazard pay breathing in all those fumes from those motorcycles?
It's no problem.
It's all right, honey. It's all about love.
It's all about love.
That's right.
Back to you guys.
All right, thank you, Lisa. Thank you, Martine. As you can see, you have a number of scantily clad women on motorcycles, which on a chilly morning on Market Street is a bold statement indeed.
And these are women
that's what
from,
I'm talking about.
Yeah, that's right. These are women from all across the country, and I believe some from around the world as well. You know, they also have done fundraising rides for Lion Martin, breast cancer research, and Shanty as well.
When the Dykes on Bikes started in 1978, 1979 for the very first year in the parade, it was just about a dozen women on motorcycles. They were given the honor of kicking off the parade as they are this year, and ever since then, every single year, they have said the Dykes on Bikes are the way to go to get people psyched, and the crowd starts cheering, and the noise and the rumble, and it really sort of captures the moment out here.
Brad, I couldn't hear you. What'd you say? Just kidding. This is incredible.
A lot of them have sort of decked out their motorcycles, certainly decked out their bodies and their clothing. Dykes on Bikes says right there on her motorcycle.
We're talking, what, more than 600 motorcycles
I've been
today?
told about 600 motorcycles. They're actually starting down by the Ferry Building, for those of you familiar with San Francisco, on the Embarcadero, and then shooting up here on Market Street. And, I mean, they come from all over the country with their motorcycles. Some drive their motorcycles across country, others pack them in the back of a U-Haul and make it across. And for the big parade.
But this is the route that they're really interested in, is this one here on Market Street. Goes all the way down from Market and Beale here to Market and about 7th or 8th Street.
7th or 8th Street, that's
to
right.
the Civic Center, where they're going to have a big Pride celebration.
As you can see right there, that sign, I'm proud of my lesbian mom. As I mentioned earlier, not everybody in the Dykes and Bikes contingent is necessarily a lesbian. A lot of them are supporters. Their friends are lesbians.
Family,
and here to
friends.
show their support and their love for their friends.
Oh, you were talking about the bare necessities today. We just saw one, but hey, everybody's just having fun today. You know, anything goes for this parade. As they say, it is queerific.
You know, it's got to be a little chilly, actually, going topless down Market Street right now on a motorcycle into that headwind. But I
bet
guess with the adrenaline, it doesn't affect you.
I bet they wish that we still had that heat wave going here in San Francisco when we have like 100+ temperatures. But we've got a little cool breeze, maybe a little cooler breeze coming in today.
There's our shot from the 21st floor of the Hobart building on Market Street, looking east toward the Ferry building. You can see the endless line of motorcycles, of Dykes on Bikes, making their way down Market Street.
And down there, amongst the women's motorcycle contingent, again, Lisa and Martine. What are you guys doing?
Well, hi, Lisa and Brad. With me are Kristen and Joe. Thank you for being with me. Tell me what Dykes on Bikes is all about.
It's about a celebration of gay expression and lesbian and a lot of fun. I enjoy being here.
Have you done it before? Is this your first year?
My first year.
Woo! And what do you think? What do you think of this? This starts the parade every year. It's so powerful.
Fabulous. It's absolutely fabulous. We love it. Greatest experience around.
Fantastic. Thank you for being with us.
You two are beautiful.
Beautiful. Back to you guys.
Thanks a lot, Lisa and Martine. As you can see, the contingent winds its way down Market Street. They take a stop once in a while to wave to the crowd. We're talking probably about more than 1 million people here today. We're talking spectators and, you know, parade participants themselves.
Have you ever seen so many motorcycles?
No. Have you ever ridden on a motorcycle, Brad?
You know, once I did, and the guy actually tried to pass a truck, and we almost hit the median divider, and I said, that's the last time.
I think I tried
Those
once.
are the college days. I love some of the streamers and banners and flags. You know, of course, you'll see the rainbow flag everywhere, but the people have attached to their motorcycles blowing in the wind.
Those rainbow flags are not only being carried by people in this contingent, but all across, all around San Francisco this week, and for the next couple of days as well. They're hanging up on lampposts. There's a lot of pride here in San Francisco.
As you can see, the motorcycles are threading the needle between the muni tracks there going down Market Street. What an exciting event. People are screaming and hooting and hollering. Look at the old sort of World War II pilot's goggles there. That's fantastic.
Some have bundled up, though. Some are just kind of let loose and free today. Some have bundled up because of the chilly temperatures today.
All sorts of colors and styles. You know, it's an interesting thing because it's all about self-expression here at the lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender parade. And people are free to express themselves on their motorbikes. You'll see people dressed in lace. You'll see leathers. You'll see white cottons. You'll see topless. Well,
and you see the spectators looking at the contingent, young and old. You know, as we said, there are 600 bikes in this contingent, but this whole event, this contingent, I should say, is organized by a few women who really spend year-round volunteering their time and energy to put this together.
And a lot of them have done fundraisers for Lion Martin, for breast cancer research, and Shanti. They're an actively involved group in the community and in the movement. And this is a day when they get to get out there and put all that aside for a moment and just really celebrate their victories and celebrate their freedom and their pride in who they are.
As we said before, this is the 31st annual Gay Pride Parade. WB20 has been putting on this parade, counting today, 7 years.
That's right, it's live coverage. We're going to be here for 3 hours for you, live through the morning into the afternoon, as contingent after contingent comes by. And we have Dr. Susan Stryker joining us now live on the set. Susan is a Pride Movement spokesperson, a transgender person, who can fill us in a little bit on what's going on here and give us a unique perspective, because Susan also has a great handle on the history of the Pride movement here in San Francisco.
Yes, thanks, welcome.
Good to have you.
Thank you. A little cold today?
Yes.
So the Dykes on Bikes going by, it's a great way to kick it off, because no marching band can get your energy going like the Dykes on Bikes do.
No, it's absolutely my favorite part of the parade. It just starts with such tremendous energy and gets the whole thing off to a really wonderful start.
We had mentioned before that the theme of this year's parade is queerific. And we had talked about how it had a negative tone in the past, but now it has a positive tone. Can you go more into that?
Well, it's a word that was often used as a term of hate against gay, lesbian, bisexual, and transgender people. But about 10 years ago, a younger generation of LGBT people decided that it was a more inclusive word. It was certainly an easier word to say than lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transgender.
That's a long
That
phrase.
it was a good, handy, one-syllable word that needed to be reclaimed. That I think some of the ways that it was used as a hate term, it carried this sense of it was bad to be different from the norm. You know, that queer, it was odd, it was strange, it was different. And the effort to reclaim that word really was done in a spirit of, well, what's so wrong with being different from the norm?
So by letting it being used as a derogatory term, it was essentially perpetuating the whole derogatory perception that people had. And you said, hey, yes, we are queer, and darn it, we're gonna show you that we're queer.
We're here, we're queer, get used to it. We're part of this
sort
society
of like breaking
too.
out of the mold.
Absolutely right.
All right, thank you. We'll be joining, Susan will be joining us throughout the morning to give us her insights. And right now, Lord Martine is back down with the Dykes on Bikes and the crowd on Market Street. Martine, take it away.
Hey, you know, I found two very good-looking women down here, 19 years old, from Iowa. This is Jody, this is Sarah, and they were telling me this is their very first Pride Parade ever. What is it like?
It's cool. They don't have lots of things like this in Iowa. I like how everything's so free. I think it's
Are you having a good time?
Yeah, it's awesome. Pretty inspiring. What? Pretty inspiring. Yeah, it is. I like it.
Why don't you go back and tell people in Iowa you saw here this morning?
How everyone can just be like, I don't know, themselves out here. And like in Iowa, you could never like do something like this. I don't know. I just think it's really neat.
You two are too cute. Too cute. I can't take it. I can't take it. It looks like the Dykes on Bikes are rolling up. Do we have another? Do we want to do it now? Let's go. We've got a couple.
Let's come over this way.
We're going to swing around over here.
And hey, who do we have here today? Happy Gay Day! Happy Gay Day. Tell me why you're dressed the way you are. Say what?
Because I love this woman and we're getting married sooner or later.
Congratulations.
They might say, tell us not to marry, but honey, that does not mean we cannot fall in love with each other.
We're here, get used to it.
That's right.
Fantastic. And you are just about the end of this whole contingent.
And we're late, as always.
Well,
Gotta go.
we don't want to keep you. Thanks for joining us. Take care.
Brad and Lisa, back to you.
Yeah, no speeding down Market Street today.
Yeah, as those women from Iowa are going to find out this is not Kansas, Dorothy.
You know, on that note, the Gay Pride Parade is the biggest parade in San Francisco and perhaps the biggest Pride Parade, Gay Pride Parade throughout the country.
Right, passing by just a moment ago, the San Francisco Bike Messenger Association. These are the bike messengers you see out zipping in and out between the cars, trying to get their messages to the recipients. These folks have worked hard to unify their workforce and get some better pay and benefits for the bike messengers in San Francisco. They really are part of the icon of the street scene in San Francisco.
They represent diversity, spirit, and also the pro-labor ethic here in San Francisco as well. It's hard sometimes when you're driving a car in this city and you see these bike messengers weave in and out. It's like amazing.
And imagine for them and trying to, especially just trying to clear those Muni tracks, not get their tires caught in there. There they are.
And they deserve hazard pay. I don't think they get paid very much.
Bold San Francisco bike messengers. Having fun here at the Gay and Lesbian Transgender Bisexual Parade in San Francisco this morning and drinking a beer early in the morning. Why not? What the?
No, I think that's a fruit drink.
I don't know. It looks like an Anchor Steam to me.
Hey, like you said, anything goes on this day. Once again, our camera from the Hobart building.
Right, beautiful shot. Looks like it's clearing up over the bay right now. The ferry building, they have scaffold around this ferry building right now. They're working on that, but that doesn't upset the scene at all.
And there you see once again the parade route, Market Street, and the San Francisco Bike Messenger Association, that contingent.
You know, the very first year when they held the San Francisco Pride Parade back in 1970, it was just 1 year after the Stonewall event in New York City. The Castro, you know, back in 1970, the Castro was not the gay mecca that it is today. It was just a working class neighborhood. The rents were low, the intolerance was high. How 31 years later, things have changed here in San Francisco.
You know, before the Stonewall riots, though, 3 years before that, San Francisco had a little uprising of its own at the Compton cafeteria, I believe.
That's right. Lisa Bernard, Lady Lisa's down there clowning around right now. Lady Lisa, who's your friend there?
Well, I am here with Tom. Tom says this is the very first parade you've been in. Tell me about it.
Very first. I've always wanted to do it. 40 years later, I'm doing it.
Congratulations. What do you think?
I retire next weekend, by the way. I love it. I love it. You can be yourself. It's great. Absolutely great.
And what made you wear this outfit?
I had this made 4 years ago for senior citizens, for homes. This is the place to wear it. It's the first time I wore it. So.
And
I want to ask you something, Tom. What's inside here? What is all this? Mother Nature. Mother Nature, a little rubber, a little synthetic.
Mother Nature.
All going, baby.
Got it all going.
You're looking good. Thank you so much. Have a great Pride 2001.
Well,
Thanks
you
a lot,
see there, Lisa, that there wasn't just a big red nose that he had there. He also had some big, well, biggest ones I've ever seen on a clown anyway.
Apparently.
And here you're seeing the Mikes on Bikes. This is their 5th year in the parade, and their theme is a party on wheels.
Hi, my name's Martine.
All right, Lord Martine is with one of the Mike on Bikes right now. Lord Martine, take it away.
Okay.
I think he's setting up. Hey, Martine.
This is Ryan with the California AIDS Ride. It looks like you guys are in full force today. What brings you out on this queerific day of all days?
An absolutely wonderful day to ride. It's all these people here. It's incredible. This was my 5th AIDS Ride.
Now tell us a little bit about what the AIDS Ride is all about. What do you guys do?
Well, it's having fun. The most important part is raising money to fight AIDS. This year we raised over $11 million as a group. There were 2,799 cyclists.
Wow, and you know, how far do you cycle? It's not an easy ride.
585 miles.
Ouch, 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 ouch.
And it's my 5th time I did this.
Honey, I'll bet you're in better shape than I am.
Oh,
I know so. All right, okay. Brad and Lisa, back to you. We got to get this guy with his group.
Yeah, just wear those padded shorts, make sure no damage occurs.
And there, once again, you see the California AIDS Ride and the people participating in that contingent. We should tell you folks out there that Brad is quite the expert cyclist himself.
And you know, I had an opportunity to do the AIDS Ride. It was going to be through Delaware and Maryland, and I ended up moving out to California right about when the AIDS Ride was going to be, and it upset my plans.
He was almost an Olympian.
Well, you're stretching.
It's okay. I'm just trying to talk you up, buddy.
Hey, I appreciate that. I appreciate that.
Once again, welcome to the 31st annual Gay Pride Parade here in San Francisco.
Here come Mike's on Bikes now. Now, this is after the California AIDS Ride. Mike's on Bikes. This is their 5th year in the parade for the Mike's on Bikes. A party on wheels is the theme this year. You could say this whole thing is a party on wheels, this entire event today. These are environmentally friendly queer boys, bicycle contingent, and they proclaim the benefits of cycling in San Francisco for the queer boys: sexier legs, lovelier loins,
and freedom.
All right, the Mike's on Bikes looking downright dashing today.
They're having fun. Hey, Susan, let's bring you back in here now. Talk about how this year's parade in years past, in the recent years, it's become more positive than negative than in 2 decades past.
Parades being organized mostly as a form of political protest to being organized much more in the spirit of celebration.
Spirit of celebration.
Right. It really represents a spirit of celebration.
Got your mic
more,
back open now.
got the mic back on now, yes. That 2 decades ago, I think it was far more important to be on the streets in protest because of the kinds of oppression that the community was facing at that time. And I think it's a mark of the freedoms and rights that we have gained, that we can be simply more celebratory rather than militant. Not that that means that there aren't important struggles that still need to be fought now and in the future.
Do you think the community is becoming more accepting of the lesbian, gay, bi, trans community?
You mean the broader public? Yes, I certainly think that's true. I mean, there's certainly as well a great deal of homophobic opposition from people who are afraid of diversity, who want the world to look like a reflection of themselves and not see, you know, the whole wide world of gender and sexual diversity, of racial and ethnic diversity, and that I do think, though, that we've been successful in putting our message out over the last 30 years that that we're simply another wonderful way of being human.
And there have been positive advancements in San Francisco in the past year in terms of benefits and recognizing the gay community.
I think especially with the transgender community that I think it was the latest initial to be added to the LGBT coalition. But the transgender community has been very active over the past 10 years in insisting on its full humanity and its human and civil rights, and that I know those of us who are involved in that particular community have been very impressed with the way that the city has responded to some of our needs.
Today's parade is very impressive.
Right now, this is the Alexander Hamilton Post 448 American Legion, the only a known American Legion post that has a primarily gay and lesbian contingent marching down Market Street. You're watching WB's live coverage of the San Francisco Lesbian, Gay, Bisexual, Transgender Parade on Market Street. We'll be right back after this commercial break.
You're watching WB20's exclusive live coverage of the San Francisco 2001 Pride Parade, presented by Bud Light, for the great taste that won't fill you up and never let you down. We'll be back with more thrilling Pride Parade coverage on WB20.
It may be late, but the party never stops at Studio 55. Studio 55 isn't some trendy nightclub, just the summer's hottest meeting place and party line. Meet attractive new singles in your area right now for fun and new relationships. Best of all, Studio 55 is cheap. Only low long-distance rates apply. Call 1-702-835-4444. Must be 18. That's 1-702-835-4444. Studio 55 for the time of your night.
Boy, are they going to be surprised. I hope they like it. Breakfast! Breakfast!
Oh, wow.
Are these,
Pancakes.
Wow. This looks great.
We don't have the stuff to make pancakes.
For heartburn, indigestion, upset stomach, nausea, and diarrhea, Pepto-Bismol.
We made the syrup, too.
Because you never know.
Where can you go to see jets racing through the sky and get the chance to walk inside some of the world's biggest airplanes? The Air Expo at Moffett Field. That's just one place you'll visit as one of WB20's Summer Blast winners. Weekly winners receive family passes to over 6 Bay Area attractions, plus 10 cases of 7-Up. Remember to make 7-Up yours whenever you visit Safeway. To enter, visit the Summer Blast page at WB20.com or send a postcard to WB20 Summer Blast. Brought to you by 7-Up and Safeway. We now return to WB20's exclusive coverage of the San Francisco 2001 Pride Parade, presented by Body Time. For 30 years, the original bath and body care company. Now live from Market Street in downtown San Francisco, WB20 anchors Lisa Kim and Brad Hicks.
And welcome back to the 31st Annual Gay Pride Parade here in San Francisco.
It is just a fantastic morning. We started off this morning with the Dykes on Bikes. That got everybody's juices flowing.
And motors.
That's right, and motors. And for the next 3.5 hours, 3 hours, we're going to be here live with you with this fantastic event down on Market Street in San Francisco. Carol Migden is coming by at this moment, Assembly member. She is the Honorable Carol Migden, representing the 13th District in the Assembly. In fact, she's one of the only, I believe, 3 or 4 openly lesbian members of the state legislature. And I believe Lord Martine and Lisa Bernard, Lady Lisa, are with Carol.
Up close
right
and
now.
personal.
Hey, we've got Carol Migden here, one of our favorite politicians. Carol, are you feeling queer fit today?
We're having a wonderful time, and I'm joined here with my friend from Los Angeles, Assemblyman Cardenas. Just to know this is a statewide parade, and we're very celebratory and happy and blessed by what we have.
And actually, the entire nation watches this parade and looks at the example that San Francisco
Well, they
sets.
ought to, and realize that we celebrate, we're proud, we're having a good time. We want to open our hearts to everyone and have them join in the festivities.
Is this the first time you've been for this?
Yes, it is, and I'm just blessed and pleased to be here, and I look at all the beautiful people and all the beautiful faces. Look at all these smiles.
Yeah.
These people are having a wonderful time. It's a great place to be, beautiful.
And maybe you'll bring it to L.A.
Maybe, hey. Well, we do have one in Hollywood, we do.
We'll leave
Thank
it
you.
off. Thanks for having
Thanks for being with us.
Assemblywoman Carol Migden.
Thank you, Martine and Lisa.
You know, she really has been at the forefront of the gay and lesbian movement in Sacramento, making things happen. She, in fact, got the National Center for Lesbian Rights Award, the Leadership Award, and has been behind a number of laws that have really promoted diversity and acceptance here in California. And her contingent of friends and all the fans, #1 in Sacto.
Pretty vocal group there.
You know, it's interesting. The first politician to take place in the parade was back in '73, maybe '74. Richard Hungisco. He was the sheriff back then, and you know, it really was an extremely brave move for him to get involved in the parade, because at that time the gay and lesbian community, primarily the gay community, was not necessarily accepted in San Francisco. And here was a politician, a sheriff, who said, hey, I'm going to stand with these people. And since then, we have seen the contingent of politicians grow and grow and grow each year. And in fact, it was sort of funny, Lisa, you may have noticed, we received these binders that sort of walk us through the parade and tell us about each contingent. And the politicians always have multi-page descriptions of what they've done, because they want to make sure that people know they're involved and they're supporting. What
you just saw there was Supervisor Mark Leno and his contingent. He is sort of the acting mayor for today, because Mayor Willie Brown is busy. He's has other engagements, but we welcome Mark Leno today.
You know, Mark was very involved in this somewhat controversial legislation here in the city of San Francisco earlier this year to provide city health benefits to transgenders who wanted to go through the sexual reassignment procedure. And the city supervisors ended up supporting that legislation, and now the city, I believe, Susan Stryker is here. What is it, $50,000, up to $50,000 in benefits? Yeah, we're having some problems with Susan's microphone. We'll get that back here in a moment. Mark is one of the two primary leaders for the gay community on the Board of Supervisors.
In fact, we have Lisa and Lord Martine down on the ground ready to talk to Mark Leno. Lisa?
Hi there, Lisa. With me is, of course, Mark Leno. Thank you for being us. What do you think of this today?
It is queerific, don't you think?
I do think. I absolutely think so. Now, I understand you're sort of our acting mayor today.
Well, acting mayor, queen for a year, but...
Just a year?
No, a lifetime. Yeah, we're celebrating today 32 years now since Stonewall, 31 years here in San Francisco. I'm a Stonewall baby myself. I came out in 1969.
Tell me about the progress in that time.
It's a lifetime. It's been my lifetime. We've turned the world upside down. We've shown the world that there's a way of doing things. Rejecting the regimen of the status quo. That's really what this is about. Everyone can participate.
And not to be a downer, but certainly isn't there still some inroads that have to be made, some progress still yet to come?
I am still a second-class citizen in this country. I cannot serve in the military with dignity. My most committed relationship is not recognized by the law. There's still no protections for housing or employment. We are second-class citizens, but we're changing that slowly, slowly.
And certainly progress this year in the city, with now the city employees getting health benefits in terms of transgender. What do you think of that?
That's very important, because we have to make sure that all of our citizens in San Francisco are treated with the same dignity and respect that all citizens should be afforded. That's what that legislation is about.
Thank you. Thanks so much for being with us today. Enjoy the day.
On the air kiss.
Oh, we didn't get to see it. Wait a second. Hey, we didn't get to see the on-air kiss. Come on. I want my money back. I want my money back.
There you have Mark Leno, the Grand Marshal of the parade.
Mark has been chairing this capital campaign for this big gay, lesbian, bisexual, transgender community center project here in San Francisco. This is an ongoing effort to develop one more thing that helps reinforce the legitimacy of the gay, lesbian community here in San Francisco.
We have a vignette we'd like to show you right now about the transgender community here in San Francisco. Let's roll the videotape to show you just what they are.
It's Girls' Night Out. They're talking shop.
You're a forerunner, you're a trailblazer. I'm just trying to work a job, trying to get a job and work in my field and live my life like anybody else.
It took me a good 5 years before they trust me. Like, they didn't know where to place me. They didn't know what little cubicle to put Claire in.
These transgender women are professionals who are trying to change their image.
I think a lot of people view us strictly as sex workers. Mentally ill, you know, drug addicts.
Archived messages.
So they're starting a group whose working name is WWW, or Women Who Work. It's an activist group for professional transgenders.
Well, what's your pattern of drug use? Is it daily? You go on weekend binges?
Andrea Pasillas is a substance abuse counselor at UCSF. She says in the past it was practically impossible to get a job where she was accepted.
People tended to view me as a client. One of my coworkers asked me, are you going to be a problem like so-and-so? And she was talking about a client.
But hiding her sexual orientation wasn't working either.
I used to listen to my gay and lesbian coworkers talk about their lives, and I thought, gee, I wish I could do that. I wish I could live my life and be able to talk about my life.
Claire Skiffington felt the same way. She says working as a man was like living a lie.
What was I going to say? Bought a new dress, the long lines ripped on the bus, the wig fell off on Market Street.
Skiffington now works for the city. She says being accepted as a woman in her office enables her to live a complete life.
Except for the first French toilet routine in the morning, the 20 minutes in front of the mirror of shaving, because I'm too much of a chicken to get electrolysis. It's cool. I just forget about it.
But she doesn't take living as a woman 24/7 for granted.
But it's like that once a month when you're in line at the Safeway and they're saying, paper or plastic, ma'am? And it's, wow. What was the question again?
There you have it, the parade once again, the 31st Annual Gay Pride Parade. What you're seeing now is the contingent called FTM International, and that stands for Female to Male. It is the largest and longest running educational organization serving FTM transgender people and transsexual men.
We just talked to some people who had gone from being men to women. These are men who are women who have become men.
Voulez-vous coucher avec moi?
Ah, ce soir?
Oui.
Love of life, isn't that what it's all about?
And they come from very different backgrounds, including every imaginable sexual orientation, and they have multicultural backgrounds as well.
Susan Stryker is joining us now. Dr. Susan Stryker is transgender herself. You saw the story that we did talking to some of the men who become women and the difficulties that they've had. You've been down that same path. Here we have some women who have become men. Talk to us about that experience.
Well, rather than saying it's women who've become men, I'd say it's men who've had female bodies.
Right.
You know, that's the whole point, that some people simply do not form from childhood the gender identity that's usually associated with that body. And so that this is just another way that people can be. Some people just come out that way.
Do you find that it's mostly in childhood, adolescence, or adulthood where people begin to get the feeling that this is not the body I'm supposed to be in?
Well, there's a whole wide range. I mean, some people, their earliest memories are of feeling that they were a girl in a boy's body or a boy in a girl's body. For some people, it's something that emerges later in life that they hadn't articulated it to themselves yet at that point. So the transition from male to female or female to male is something that can happen at any time in life.
Mm-hmm. Is there still some hesitancy, some ambivalence to accept the transgender community within the gay community?
Sure, there is. Just like there's some ambivalence among white people to accept people of color in their communities.
How are you overcoming those obstacles, though?
Well, I think that it's just a matter of getting out there, doing the work, being involved in the organization, putting your story out there, just showing up and being there and insisting on your full humanity, coming into it with an open heart, but also with a firm commitment that you're not going to be treated as a second-class citizen, that you're not going to be a minority within a minority, that you're going to be a full-fledged member of the community.
Yeah, I mean, on a personal level, you're dealing with some different struggles, perhaps, than members of the gay or lesbian community, but in the big picture, when it comes to the acceptance issue, when it comes to being a legitimate member of society, you have the same struggle. You share that in common.
Absolutely. There's a few additional burdens and challenges to get over, but yes, we are fully part of the community. And the other thing I'd like to point out is that a lot of transgendered people, once they transition, do identify as gay or lesbian. I think of myself as a transsexual lesbian woman, that I have always been attracted to women, not as a man, but as a woman, and I've been involved in many wonderful relationships with women, both before and after my transition.
Thank you, Susan. What we're looking at right now is the contingent called New Leaf, and they're an outreach to elders. It helps people ages 60 and older overcome isolation caused by age discrimination and homophobia. In fact, we've got Lisa and Martine down there on the ground.
Actually on a cable
talking
car.
to one of the marshals.
We're not on the ground. We are on the cable car with the folks from Leaf. Tell me what this is all about.
Actually, it's really about old lesbian organizing for change, which has been around for a very long time. This is New Leaf. It's gay, lesbian, transgender, and bisexual.
Now, there is a requirement. Is that right? Look at the camera as you tell me.
You must be 60 years old to join.
So you have really seen this movement through many, many years. What do you think now in the year 2001?
Oh, I just know. I'm a native of San Francisco, and this is it. I see more young African-American women out there with their tits yesterday, and I flashed the seniors yesterday from the float, and they all had strokes. No. But we are just enjoying this to see that there's young people that's going to carry on. And although we might be old, we are still sexually active. So if there's anybody...
Thank you very much.
Do we love her? Do we love her?
Yeah. I guess the phrase goes, you're never too old, Brad.
That's right. New Leaf is right down on the 1800 block of Market Street if you're interested, because, well, she's interested.
We're going to take a break right now, but you're watching the 31st Annual Gay Pride Parade in San Francisco.
You're watching WB20's exclusive live coverage of the San Francisco 2001 Pride Parade, presented by 77 Maiden Lane Salon and Spa. Spend an hour or spend a day. We'll be back with more electrifying Pride Parade coverage on WB20.
You like what you see? Then pick up the phone.
Chat with the We Are 18 girls. That's 1-800-WE-ARE-18. Just $2.50 to $5.99 per minute for adults only. Always tan, always wet, and always having fun. There are only 2 ways to reach us: by phone at 1-800-WE-ARE-18 or on the web. We love cyber.
We're just 18, and you can call us.
The Hot Tubs. Visit the Hot Tubs for a relaxing, energizing soak and sauna. It's the 60-minute vacation, a great way to pamper yourself. Our meticulously kept private rooms are designed for your comfort, and take advantage of the Hot Tubs early bird specials. Total relaxation, the 60-minute vacation, the Hot Tubs.
Win your share of almost $11,000 in tickets. Then watch your Western Division champions San Jose SaberCats annihilate the Florida Bobcats Saturday, June 30th at the Compaq Center. Log on now to News Channel 11 or WB20.com and click on the SaberCats button or send a postcard to 645 Park Avenue, San Jose 95110. Don't miss the chance to win your share of $11,000 in tickets. Log on now to News Channel 11 or WB20.com to win your pair of tickets to the Saturday, June 30th SaberCats game. SaberCats football. Be there.
We now return to WB20's exclusive coverage of the San Francisco 2001 Pride Parade, brought to you in part by Good Vibrations, making your pleasure our business since 1977. Now live from Market Street in downtown San Francisco, WB20 anchors Lisa Kim and Brad Hicks.
Colorful floats, colorful people, naked people. It's all here on Market Street today. This is the lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender parade here in San Francisco, the Pride Parade.
Or otherwise known as LGBT.
Pride
LGBT.
Parade and celebration. The celebration is down at the Civic Center this afternoon as the parade wraps up. This right here is one of the contingents marching down Market Street, the NorCal Waste Systems, the men and their cans, you could say. Strapping young lads.
They don't take any garbage from us, though, do they?
No. This is a dedicated team of refuse management professionals, as they ask you to call them, who deliver high-quality service, protecting the environment, stringent safety standards, all to make sure that your trash ends up in someone else's backyard, basically, some landfill somewhere. And look at the coordination we have here.
I think they have a little dance number here. Okay, let's stick on this for a second.
Oh, yeah.
And you thought they just picked up trash. I don't think so.
Hey, this is fun.
I wonder if they can run that fast when there's actually trash in those containers. I don't think so.
I've never seen a trash can so shiny. Look at the crisscross pattern there.
And not to be outdone by NorCal, we have here on the set with us John Manzone Santos. He represents the Asian and Pacific Islander Wellness Center.
Welcome, John.
What do you think of this parade so far?
It's been great, and it's a great place to watch the parade from. I appreciate the companionship.
Nice view.
It's really tremendous to see the diversity of our community here.
Well, we need the body heat because it's kind of chilly up here, as you well noticed.
It's a little cold. It's a little typical San Francisco weather, though.
Exactly. Kind of missed the heat wave from last week.
No.
John, we see so many groups marching through this parade, coming down Market Street. The Asian Pacific Islander Wellness Center is coming up probably in about an hour or so. How long has your organization been involved in the Pride Parade?
From the beginning. You know, it's interesting. We are a health organization, and more becoming a community center for Asians and Pacific Islanders and our allies. And I want to emphasize that alliance building is a cultural value of the LGBT community, because together we're much stronger, and we do emphasize the commonalities in our community so that we can look diverse, because we are, but we can also identify together as LGBT queer.
As we had mentioned before, there is a significant API presence here in the parade, and also Asian Pacific Islander groups in general. Has that increased through the years?
Absolutely. I think we have a number of different factors. I mean, look at the city. It's about 1/3 Asian and Pacific Islander. And if you just do conservative percentages, a big chunk of the community are going to identify as lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, and they do. I think increasingly, as the mainstream becomes more accepting of LGBT communities, so you see more visibility among Asians and Pacific Islanders as well. You know that half of the student body in San Francisco is Asian and Pacific Islander. A lot of them are queer teens struggling with their sexuality, struggling for community and family support.
In fact, I guess outside of Honolulu, San Francisco has the largest percentage of Asian people of any major city in the U.S. I want to direct your attention right now down to the parade route, Market Street. This is Lyric GSA. The GSA is the Gay Straight Alliance Network. This is basically an organization where teens and adolescents can begin to feel free. And in fact, Lord Martine and Lady Lisa Bernard are down there with the GSA right now. Hello.
Hello, Brad. With me is Carol Lynn. And tell me why it's so important that you're all here today.
Well, our contingent today is queer youth and straight ally youth from about 170 high schools all over California.
And do you feel that you're getting the support you need in the high schools in California?
In some of the schools we are, and we now have laws that protect students from discrimination based on sexual orientation and gender identity. But unfortunately, there's still many schools where they're not enforcing this law.
And so certainly being out here today helps that. What do you think of Pride in general? It's 31 years for this parade. How do you feel being part of it?
I think it's incredibly empowering for young people to get up here and march in front of hundreds of thousands and show that they're proud of who they are and they're proud to represent their high schools and their queer youth groups.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Back to you guys.
Thanks a lot,
Lisa. Thank you so much. What a colorful contingent this is. And this is one of the best organized ones we've seen come by so far. Everyone has a banner. Everyone, the Santa Clara High School banner I saw a moment ago, Pinole Valley High School.
Watsonville, St. Ignatius, Amador High School.
You know, it is very difficult for gay and lesbian youth in this day and age because, as you know, adolescents sometimes can be cruel to their peers and make it very difficult for them. And we discovered that firsthand when we went to talk to some gay and lesbian youth here in the Bay Area. I want to give you an example of what they told us about their struggles.
I just do a lot of comic book stuff, basically.
Superheroes of Lauren Bruton's imagination. They weren't around the day she got beat up for being gay.
I was confronted by a couple people that were much older, like college student material. And to a 12-year-old and college students, there's such a big difference right there, and so it was really dangerous.
Lauren became depressed. She even thought of killing herself.
I thought, it's my fault. You know, honestly, I was thinking, oh, it's my fault that I'm gay and that they're beating me up.
She didn't know anybody else. She was alone, and I think she
Like, I was one of the few people who knew about her.
Someone wrote on lipstick on one of the teacher's doors that he was gay and all these epithets and everything.
So in high school, Lauren and her best friend Kim founded the Gay Straight Alliance Club.
I wanted to make it so students wouldn't have to experience the same things I have, because no one deserves to experience the things I have. Not my worst enemy.
Does anybody need a ride to the gay parade? What about a movie night? There's a sale on popcorn at Albertsons. What should we do about the graffiti on the gay teacher's door? Guess what? The Christianity Club sent a letter supporting us. This club gives students a place to talk and to feel safe to be themselves.
A lot of times you think that your friends won't be okay with it, but they really are.
I think it's good to be visible, if you're comfortable with being visible.
Some people say you can see the future in your dreams.
I would like to see it as an equal society, not just like, oh, you're gay and you're heterosexual. I'd like to see it as like, hello, we're people, and we're here together doing our thing, trying to make this thing spin.
You can love anyone you want, so you can marry anyone you want, so you can be anyone you want to be.
This is just the beginning, though. Just the beginning.
Next year, the club plans an in-service program for teachers on how to handle gay bashing in the classroom.
In order for learning to occur, the environment needs to be safe and comfortable for everybody. And the environment's not safe or comfortable for students if they're coming to school and being insulted.
It's been a good year for GSA, and now school's almost out. Summer's here, and Lauren's heroes aren't all in her imagination anymore.
And again, a live picture looking down Market Street. Marching down Market Street right now is Our Family. This is the Bay Area lay lesbian. That's great. Gay, lesbian, bisexual, transgender family group. This is a group that provides networking and some social events and workshops to its member families, basically helping families come together with gay members.
And you see a lot of strollers out there. This is the stroller drill team. It's composed of lesbian, gay, bi, trans families with young children, as you can see, in strollers, and they perform a lot of goofy formations and maneuvers. But this is, you know, this is a proud event today in San Francisco, but we should also point out, as you can see, this is also a family affair.
It sure is. We're going to head to a commercial break right now. When we come back, hopefully we'll come back in time, because the next contingent up is Cheer San Francisco, folks. You don't want to miss this. We'll be right back.
You're watching WB20's exclusive live coverage of the San Francisco 2001 Pride Parade, presented by 77 Maiden Lane Salon and Spa. Spend an hour or spend a day. We'll be back with more electrifying Pride Parade coverage on WB20.
You don't have to be alone tonight. Just call me. Pick up the phone.
We're live.
We can have a really good time. When you call me, pick up the phone.
This call is free. 1-800-919-9999. Must be 18.
Have a summer blast at Paramount's Great America, Northern California's most thrilling theme park, and catch some of the 15 new thrills and adventures. That's just one place you'll visit as one of WB20's Summer Blast winners. Weekly winners receive family passes to over 6 Bay Area attractions, plus 10 cases of 7-Up. Remember, make 7-Up yours whenever you visit Safeway. To enter, visit the Summer Blast page at WB20.com or send a postcard to WB20 Summer Blast, brought to you by 7-Up and Safeway.
Yes, 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 yes! Stop trying and start buying. Sir Richard's does what no one else can do. Sir Richard acts as the bank, so there are no turndowns and there is no one else to get approval from. Guaranteed credit approval, re-establishing your credit the right way. Sir Richard's reports to the credit bureau, so come on down, pick out a car, make me an offer. Don't be shy, because I'm not.
We now return to WB20's exclusive coverage of the San Francisco 2001 Pride Parade, brought to you in part by Good Vibrations, making your pleasure our business since 1977. Now live from Market Street in downtown San Francisco, WB20 anchors Lisa Kim and Brad Hicks.
And welcome to a very queerific gay pride parade here in San Francisco.
31st year for the Pride Parade in San Francisco. The theme this year, queerific. The gay community has said we are reclaiming the word queer. And right now, speaking of queer as it gets down on Market Street, Cheer San Francisco. For 21 years, this brand of entertainment has appeared in most of the Bay Area parades. It's an all-volunteer group, guys from 22 to 42 years old, averaging about 30 appearances a year, and they are proud to be making their 21st appearance here in the Pride Parade. Cheer. Woo!
In their latest routine, 2001, a Cheer Odyssey.
Just check them out, the men in shorts.
And women in Cheer outfits as well. Kind of reminds me of that skit in Saturday Night Live, huh?
Yeah.
Maybe we can get a cheer or two here.
I'm trying to read what their shirts say there. Queer, I can't read it. Queer SF, there you go, Cheer SF, there you go. Here they come, Cheer San Francisco.
Okay, they're leading a cheer, let's listen in. And here it goes.
All right, audience, this is your part. The louder you yell, the higher we fly. Coming up, coming up, coming up. Let's make some noise.
How about that?
Hey, it's their version of the wave. Ow!
This isn't your mother's Market Street. No, sir.
It's probably not your mother's cheering team either.
Just to remind you, they are on concrete here, not grass.
But they're very skilled, very experienced. Woo.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Now, is that a way to rev up the crowd or what?
And that's just a little teaser of our main performance on the main stage at
2001 Cheer Odyssey. Cheer San Francisco. Gotta love it. That got everybody going out here on the parade route. The energy just exploded with Cheer San Francisco. And that's what they're there to do, right? Get people fired up. People are clapping right now. Gotta love it.
Got them all fired up and warmed up on this chilly day here in San Francisco.
Oh, that's fun.
And the crowd has turned out. I think they're like 12 feet deep here on Market Street.
Well, you know, it's interesting. There are certain areas where the sun is sheltering, the buildings are sheltering the sun. It's a thin crowd, and where the sun is, my oh my, they have all congregated.
And then once again, you see the shot from the Hobart building of Market Street. The Embarcadero in the background. We've got like, what, 206 floats today. A lot more to come here on the parade.
This is good vibrations, folks. The Grand Marshal, one of the Grand Marshals, Carol Queen, is with Good Vibrations. Good Vibrations is a company that makes, well, shall we say,
good
vibrators. They make good vibrations, and you know, getting some vibes right now is Lord Martine. Lord, are you down there with Carol Queen?
I sure am, and let me tell you, I was just talking to Carol Queen, and she told me this is their first ever float in the parade. Carol, honey, you look fabulous. Can you tell us how you are feeling today? Pride 2000.
Full of pride, and it's so great to be Grand Marshal with my friends from Good Vibes. We made a giant vibrator just for the occasion. It's festive as it could possibly be.
Now, you know, Good Vibrations is like all about a good time, but you guys support some very serious causes, don't you?
We do. We support every community-based effort, especially sex-positive, queer youth, women's health-related effort that we possibly can. We know that we're one institution in the community that is a for-profit business, so we want to spread it around and make sure that the community knows that we're right here.
Right on, and you can be located where?
We're at 23rd and Valencia in San Francisco and in San Pablo and Dwight, and www.goodvibes.com on the web.
This reminds me, I have some shopping to do.
Hey, Martine, what size battery does that thing take?
I'm afraid to ask.
It's like a car battery.
Type Z.
Yes, the lady's enjoying the vibrator.
You know, and if you
right
look
here
very
live
closely,
on WB20.
if you look very closely on that float, that giant vibrator isn't the only vibrator on that float.
No, it's not.
There
No.
are colorful vibrators on that float as well. A little small in stature, but you know.
And right now it looks like Carol Queen is getting the vibe treatment herself. But we won't show you. Oh, my goodness. Well, we can't show that to you. You know, Market Street once a year turns into more than just Market Street. It becomes a place where everybody and anybody can express themselves and show why the Bay Area really is the best place to live for anybody, because it's just a place that says you can be who you want to be. So cool, so pussy.
And on a day like this, anything goes, as you can see, with the giant vibrator that passed us by. And coming up is Vulva University.
You know, Lisa, last night I went onto the internet site because I wanted to read about Vulva University. Houseofchicks.org or .com is the website. Vulva University is the world's biggest genitalia right there. It's an 8-foot long, well, you can tell what it is. And Lisa and Lord Bernard are down there right now with the folks from Vulva University, where it's all about learning how to enjoy your sexual and spiritual pleasure.
That's right, and with me is the woman who put this whole thing together. And tell me what you were looking to do here.
We're the Vulva University, and we provide free online classes about women's sexuality, women's bodies, and women's healthcare. And we believe that all women should have free access to information.
And so being part of Pride 2001, what does that mean sort of for all of you?
We hope to educate the people at Pride here today all about the vulva. We have vulva puppets, and we've made the world's biggest vulva.
Yes, you do. And are you educating the crowd?
We're educating the crowd.
What's the response been so far?
Fabulous. I think people are having a great education and a great time.
Thank you. Thanks for being with us. Pride 2001, Queerific.
Gotta love the cords.
You know? And I saw one of the parade judges come out and give the giant vulva an award for one of the best floats in the parade. How can you go wrong with, you know, an 8-foot tall vulva?
I kind of feel like you're in a gynecologist's office.
Well, actually, some sort of a Disneyland ride that the folks at Disney wouldn't allow, maybe. You know, I want to tell you a little bit more about Vulva University because it really was kind of interesting. It's a website, this House of Chicks, where you can go and take these online courses, and you can learn about the female orgasm, female masturbation, all sorts of female sex topics, but it's not done in a pornographic way at all, and it's not done in a real academic way. It's a way for women to explore their sensuality, their eroticism, to learn more about their bodies and get the most out of their bodies.
You certainly did a lot of studying on this, Vulva University.
Well, I showed my wife it as well, so I wasn't sitting there alone. And it's not a hint or anything, Lisa. I'm not saying you should necessarily go.
Moi?
But it was interesting, and it was a very interesting website to check out. You know, by the way, Vulva University came up with this thing called the Vulva Puppet, which is, well, you can imagine, it's a puppet that looks like a vulva, and there are thousands of these around the world now used as teaching elements.
4,000 to be exact.
The Sisters of Perpetual Indulgence, a San Francisco icon here in the Bay Area, founded in 1979. The Sisters have been a real social force and activism here in San Francisco. Members of the Sisters of Perpetual Indulgence have run for city offices here in the city, and there's nothing like them.
They're one of the grand marshals of today's parade. I believe they came in third last year and then second the year before, but they made it this year. Grand
That right
Marshal.
there, by the way, is Betty, if I'm not mistaken. Each of the Sisters of Perpetual Indulgence has a character. In fact, you can go to their website and learn about the different characters. There with the blue fan, I believe, is Betty.
And her sisters are with her as well today. Kind of like a We Are Family kind of theme with the Sisters of Indulgence, Perpetual Indulgence. They're a favorite every year in this parade.
You know, just yesterday in the Castro, they have what's called Castro's favorite block party. It's called Pink Saturday, comes before the Pride Parade, and it's sponsored by the Sisters of Perpetual Indulgence, a huge, huge parade there. They even have a little Jeep, it looks like. One of the most colorful contingents here in in the San Francisco Pride Parade. And in fact, Lord Martine is down there. Which sister do you have? Which nun do you have with you right now, Martine?
This is Sister Mary Peter.
Hello, my darling.
Sister Mary Peter, we see you guys out every year in full force, and you are not disappointing us this year.
Oh, no. Well, thank you.
How are you feeling today?
I feel fabulous. I'm seeing all these beautiful, joyful people here who are a little bit too quiet right now. Hello. Much better. They need a little work, you know what I'm saying?
Are you feeling queerific this year?
Oh, my darling, I'm feeling queer fabulous-rific. That's what I'm feeling. And you're looking divine.
Oh,
So.
well, thank you. I'm feeling queer fabulous-rific also.
And you're looking perky, but that could be the chilly wind that's blowing, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, well, thank you.
Well, you know, the Sisters of Perpetual Indulgence are quite a controversial group. Can you please tell us exactly what you're all about?
Well, my dear, what we're about is showing the community its own love and joy through the sparkling dazzlingness of our faces. And we remind
not
people
just
of the
their
fact that
faces.
there are so many loving and joyful people out there, and every now and then they need a little bit of help. That's all.
And you raise money for good causes.
We raise thousands every year for community groups in the city that otherwise wouldn't get funding. And it's a wonderful, wonderful job. If anyone's feeling a vocation, www.thesisters.org. We do recruit, you know what I'm saying?
They do recruit.
We do. God love you, my children.
Thanks
Happy
for being
Pride,
here.
everybody.
Thank you, sister. Once again, the Sisters of Perpetual Indulgence, one of more than 206 contingents in this year's Gay Pride Parade. We're going to take a little break right now, but be back with a lot more. It's a queerific day.
You're watching WB20's exclusive live coverage of the San Francisco 2001 Pride Parade, presented by Body Time. For 30 years, the original bath and body care company. More stimulating Pride Parade coverage will continue in a moment on WB20.
You are my first surprise, my first adventure, my first teacher, my first friend.
Before they learn from anyone, they learn from you. California Children and Families Commission. For more information, call 1-800-KIDS-025.
Hey, I'm Queen Latifah. My mom has always been there for me all my life. She was a single parent and couldn't always afford to give me everything I wanted, but when I really needed something, she always came through for me. Now I want to tell you about a new credit card that'll be there for you when you need a little help. It's called the Freedom Card Gold MasterCard, and you don't have to be a celebrity or her mom to get it. Freedom Card is the card with a purpose. Its purpose is to help you start building or rebuilding your good credit. Look, now that things are going pretty well in my career, I could get pretty much any credit card I want. But I like Freedom Card Gold MasterCard because it gives something back to the community every time you use it.
Call now to apply if you're at least 18 years of age, a U.S. resident with a valid Social Security number, and current on your existing credit accounts.
So pick up the phone, call that toll-free number right now and apply.
Even if you already have a credit card, wouldn't you like to have a Gold MasterCard that gives something back to the community every time you use it? Call 877-215-9120.
Tell them the Queen sent you.
Freedom Card, the card with a purpose.
We now return to WB20's exclusive live coverage of the San Francisco 2001 Pride Parade, presented by Bud Light, for the great taste that won't fill you up and never let you down. Now live from Market Street in downtown San Francisco, WB20 anchors Lisa Kim and Brad Hicks.
We said it was going to be queerific, and it certainly is. Looking at a live shot of Market Street from the Hobart building right now.
I'll tell you, everything you could imagine is down here on Market Street. The Sisters of Perpetual Indulgence have been entertaining us here for the last couple of minutes. This is a very active group in the San Francisco gay community, and you know, there's such a serious side behind the great colors and the great costumes and all. And people just love them, followed by the Oakland Cannabis Buyers Cooperative, obviously the ongoing court case involving medical marijuana in the city of Oakland with the Buyers Club there, and in San Francisco as well.
More than 206 floats, contingents in this year's parade. One of which, as you can see still, the Sisters of Perpetual Indulgence. A lot more coming up. We had a cheering team here before. We had a lot of we had the Dykes
on
shall we say, a A lot of nakedness today as well.
Nakedness, you know, and
on
it's
this chilly
surprising because
day.
it is a chilly day. We didn't expect as much of that out here. This is a remarkable event here in San Francisco, the 31st year for the Pride Parade. And what's interesting is that the Pride Parade really reflects the mood and the issues facing the gay community in San Francisco. It has evolved as the gay community has evolved, and we're seeing much more, shall we say, celebration. And Dr. Susan Stryker is here. She is a member of the transgender community in San Francisco. Talk to us a little bit about how the parade reflects the status, if you will, of the gay community, of the transgender community in San Francisco, because it does seem that when times are bleak in the 80s, when the AIDS epidemic broke out, that was the predominant issue, that was the concern. There are many other issues now involved that we see reflected here.
That's right. There are a lot of issues reflected here. I think one of the things we're seeing, though, is that people are feeling relatively empowered these days, you know, that we've been involved in the struggle for a long time. There's quite a celebratory mood here today. That doesn't mean that the AIDS epidemic is over, that we've won full citizenship rights in this country. But you can just see in all the different contingents, you know, how diverse and vibrant the community is, and how much fun people are having today.
There are victories to celebrate.
Certainly
there are accomplishments to recognize. There is work to be done.
Absolutely right.
And coming out and being proud of what you are or who you are doesn't end today.
You know, one of the remarkable things about the Pride Parade is there are many gays and lesbians and transgenders and bisexuals who come out on this very day because of the parade. They're inspired by the energy and the music and the camaraderie, and they say, today is the day for me to say, this is who I am, and I love who I am.
You know what? And feeling some of that camaraderie is our own Mark, Dean, and Lisa. Take it away, guys.
I'm telling you, we found the float, did we not?
Yes, you did.
This is Michael, Mr. Los Angeles.
Woo.
And he is looking hot. Who's your daddy? Now, I want to ask you, Michael, a lot of people are like, what is this leather thing all about? Is it a lifestyle? Is it a sexuality thing? Can you please explain?
It is a lifestyle, but more than that, it's a brotherhood, it's community. We support each other, being homosexuals, and it's more than just a sexual practice. It really is a fellowship in a united brotherhood.
But it's also a lot of fun to dress up in.
It's a lot of fun to dress up in. You should try it. You look great. You both look great in leather.
Well, I'm going shopping, and as long as I can find a good trainer, I'm willing. Thank you, Michael.
You're very welcome. Happy Gay Pride, San Francisco! Woo!
I don't know about you, Brad. I feel like dancing. What do you?
I am dancing. That was Lord Martine and Lisa on the Smirnoff Twist Float. This is a group that, well, as you can see, are celebrating leather. The whole leather community in San Francisco is one of the primary gay lesbian communities in the city. In fact, I believe we're going to be talking to someone from the leather community in just a little bit. There they are right there. SF Leather Pride. They have their own flag, in fact.
As you said, lots of leather today on them, and not only on them, but on spectators and Pride participants today, too.
In fact, we'd like to talk to Dr. Susan Stryker again about the leather community in here, because it's interesting when you watch this, you see that the gay community does have many sub-communities in it. Do these communities interact, or are they somewhat exclusive within their own communities?
Well, I think both things happen. I mean, there's a reason that the rainbow flag was chosen as a symbol of this community, that there's a wide spectrum of people who fall under the LGBT banner. Some parts of it don't overlap, but there's an awful lot of interaction. I know the leather community is one of the communities that, when seen from the outside, seems a little scary to some people, but it's a really actually wonderful way of learning how to relate respectfully to other people, to enjoy your body, to challenge yourself sometimes. It's a very interesting practice to engage with.
And this flag we see right now, the one with the blue and the white and the black, is the leather community flag, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, that's true.
We have another motorcycle contingent that you're looking at now in the Gay Pride Parade, waiting to come down, honking their horns, revving up their engines. Lots of motorcycles out here
we
today.
started off with the Dykes on Bikes.
Otherwise known as the women's motorcycle contingent.
Sure. John Manson-Santos joining us now. John is with the Asian Pacific Islander Wellness Center in the city of San Francisco. John, there are a lot of people with health concerns here in the gay community, but today it's a day to not put them aside, but maybe just take a break from them for a moment and celebrate the great things that are happening in the community.
You know, both things go on. I think it is a time to emphasize pride and who you are, and it's also a time to heighten awareness around health issues, because there's such a magnet around this parade that this is a great opportunity to talk about health concerns like HIV testing. The Pride celebration doesn't end with the parade. Right. There are tons of stages happening in the Civic Center, lots of celebration going on all day long. Want to put a shameless plug in for one of the stages, the Asian and Pacific Islander stage. I don't know if
This is the second year they've had this?
The second year. If you've heard of Coco Lee, yes, who went on to do lots of great things. She was on our stage last year. So we're wondering who among the 20 acts, groups and individuals who are performing later today will be the next Coco Lee to emerge from our stage. We're also providing HIV testing. Again, it's an opportunity to raise awareness around HIV testing. So we'll be doing that in many languages.
Thank you, John. Laura Martine's down on one of these motorcycles rolling down Market Street right now. They're not whipping you, are they, Martine?
Not yet. Not yet.
We can only hope.
Yes, right. I'm sitting here with Alan. He's just here from Boston, new to San Francisco, and this is his first Pride parade, and he's letting me sit on the motorcycle with him. Now, Alan, tell me a little bit about what you're feeling today.
Pretty overwhelmed.
I'll tell you, there's a lot of stuff going on, isn't there?
There is.
Yeah?
You know, I just came down with a friend to ride, you know, and it's a beautiful day. This is great.
What does it feel? What does it mean to you to be out here today and in the parade and part of the contingent? He's speechless.
Yeah, I really am. I really don't know what to say.
Well, you look gorgeous. It feels great out here. It's queerific, honey. Back to you two.
All righty, down there with the leather Pride. And look out for the whips and chains there, Martine.
I don't know. I think you might enjoy it,
no,
though,
that's
as
what
he
I was
said
saying.
before.
Look out for him. And then run toward him. Oh, my. What a scene. Look at that.
Once again, that is the leather Pride contingent. Can hardly. I wonder how he can even see in that mask.
I suspect you can look in and hear where he's going. This is our live coverage on WB20 of the 31st annual Pride Parade in San Francisco. All the colors, all the colorful characters. We'll be right back here live on WB20. Don't go away.
You're watching WB20's exclusive live coverage of the San Francisco 2001 Pride Parade, presented by 77 Maiden Lane Salon and Spa. Spend an hour or spend a day. We'll be back with more electrifying Pride Parade coverage on WB20.
I'm attorney William Berg. If you've been hurt in a car accident, call us at Berg & Associates. You've got questions, we've got answers. The call is free, the advice is free, and you don't pay anything until we win your case. That's right. It won't cost anything until we get money for you. At Berg & Associates, we specialize in cases where accidents cause injury. If you've been hurt in a car accident, call us now at 1-800-400-BERG.
Just so you get used to all the hauling you'll do with the new Chevy Silverado, we'd like you to haul away something for us. Now, get a 2001 Silverado half-ton extended cab and haul away $1,000 cash back or 2.9% APR. See dealer for residency and other restrictions. Chevy Silverado with $1,000 cash back. See your Chevy dealer today.
Yes, 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 yes! Stop trying and start buying. Sir Richard's does what no one else can do. Sir Richard acts as the bank, so there are no turndowns and there is no one else to get approval from. Guaranteed credit approval, re-establishing your credit the right way. Sir Richard's reports to the credit bureau, so come on down, pick out a car, make me an offer. Don't be shy, because I'm not.
We now return to WB20's exclusive coverage of the San Francisco 2001 Pride Parade, brought to you in part by Good Vibrations, making your pleasure our business since 1977. Now live from Market Street in downtown San Francisco, WB20 anchors Lisa Kim and Brad Hicks.
Pleasure is the order of the day here on Market Street in San Francisco. Welcome back to the 31st Annual Pride Parade on WB20, our 7th year, providing you live coverage from start to finish of this parade. The fans, the crowd, they're getting into it. The sun is out. We've been enjoying the leather contingent coming by down Market Street. There's only one color in the leather contingent, the color of black. That's right. Joining us right now is Gary Cuevas. He's the colorist and artistic director for 77 Maiden Lane, the spa and salon here in San Francisco, and one of the proud sponsors of Pride. Welcome, Gary.
Thank you.
Are you enjoying the day so far?
Having a great day out here.
Every expectation met and exceeded, I expect.
See, what he's going to do is give us a makeover while we're talking during the parade. But that's going to take a couple of days for me. What about you, Brad?
Yeah, well, let's see how that goes. When you're down here watching this, there's got to be a great sense of commitment in the community to recognize that San Francisco, and this is the largest Pride Parade in the country. There are larger cities. There is no larger Pride Parade.
That's right. That's why 77 wanted to be a part of that. I mean, so many of us in the salon support this, are off today and are out here just having a great time.
And how long has it been since you've participated in this parade, 77 Maiden Lane?
Well, this is our first time actually being a sponsor, but, you know, as a whole, we have always supported different charities like Project Open Hand, Camp Okinazu, you name it. We've always supported charities in our community for as long as we've been open.
Are you amazed at the outpouring of support for the LGBT community here in San Francisco?
No, I'm not amazed at all. This is why we're here in San Francisco, right? I mean, really, it's become not even so much an issue. I mean, where I work, it's not even a matter of me being gay. It's a matter of me being a good person, and that's the way it should be. And of course, we'd support this.
And that's why San Francisco is such a, well, people call it a gay mecca, but it's beyond that. It is simply a place where it really doesn't matter.
It really doesn't matter, and that's the way it should be, and that's why from here it should spread out to the rest of the country, you know? And then a parade like this, maybe we won't need to have it. It'll just be happy day. Here we are.
Well, you know, it's interesting because there are so many different themes that you see in the parade like this today. Some of them are erotic themes, some of them are political themes, some are health themes.
Right.
And what you realize is that these are themes that affect heterosexuals, homosexuals, people from all walks of life. And what's wonderful is you do see straight people in this parade supporting their gay friends.
You better believe it. My parents are at the end of this parade right now. They're probably partying down at the Civic Center.
And proud of their son.
Of course, most definitely. Bottom line, I'm their son.
Yeah.
I think that's what a lot of people in the gay community need is support, not only from their family and friends, but from the public as a whole.
Sure. When I was a kid, if I would have known about this 10 years ago and had seen this, it probably would have been easier for me to come out. I mean, look at entertainment now. Look at everything, the media. There are gay shows. There are gay characters everywhere, and it's becoming less and less of an issue about what is your preference. I mean, I really don't care what or who you have in your bed.
You know, it's interesting, Gary, you mentioned that because I have heard that there are a number of people who are gay who choose to come out on this day. They do it because the support is there, the camaraderie is there, and they're inspired by the togetherness to say, okay, this is the day I'm going to just say, you know what, folks, this is who I am.
That's right, and I think that you can achieve that when you do have a support group, whether it's family or friends, and that's why a day like this is important. Come out today, come out tomorrow, come out whenever.
That's fantastic, Gary. The Society of Janus just came by, and you missed that, and it's just a spectacle out here on Market Street, and a wonderful spectacle at that. Like Gary was saying, it is a chance for people to, well, you know what's funny about the Pride Parade, Gary? It's not a chance just to be who you are, but it's a chance to almost, in some ways, exceed who you are, to say, not only can I be gay, but I can be gay and wear glasses like that guy.
And dress up like that guy.
Sure.
And it's okay.
Yes, you can be gay and have children. You can be gay and have a whip. And you can be gay and there are gay people out there. I think that's the whole thing. And this kind of puts it in your face from every facet. Yes, the leather. Yes, the erotica. But I'm sure there are gay doctors, firemen. And I love the gay compost people. Those were great.
And Gary, I want to point out that ACT UP is here. ACT UP has probably been the most, I could say, controversial group in the gay community in San Francisco. Very, very involved in pushing gay issues, although not necessarily accepted by some members of the gay community for some of their approaches to the issue. Gary, talk to me about that.
Well, when I was a youth and I came to San Francisco, I definitely was a part of ACT UP, and I really believed in the cause because they were there fighting. I mean, sure, someone has to speak, right? And whether you agree or not, that's fine, but there's the dialogue, you know?
And ACT UP certainly does push the dialogue.
Yes, they do. And they get the PR and they get the press and they get our attention. So people pay attention, good.
As a, you know, someone, if I know that some people watching right now may think, ACT UP, I've heard of ACT UP. I believe ACT UP was involved in the very controversial Silly String incident, if I'm not mistaken, there at the, was it the City Council, Board of Supervisors, rather?
Yes.
And, you know, it's things like that where some members of the gay community said, hey, that's not how we want to get things done, but ACT UP has said, well, we got to get things done, and if people won't hear us, we're going to make sure they hear us.
That's right. However they have to do it, whether you agree or not.
The UCSF AIDS Health Project coming down Market Street. Now, they've been involved since 1984 in pioneering a dynamic program that provides HIV testing and counseling and AIDS prevention and mental health services, all so important here in the city of San Francisco. They also do some culturally sensitive counseling and education to stop the spread of HIV infection. And, of course, they help people who are living with the challenges of HIV in their own lives. A great dedicated group of people.
And they have there in their contingent the old San Francisco cable car. I think this was on wheels, though. And I think we're being pelted with beads now.
The beads are beautiful. Purple, blue, and green. Can I get the blue ones, please? Thank you.
You see, Brad's a fashion icon. He needs every single color.
And now we've got the whole, we've almost got everything in the rainbow here. Let's see.
Yeah, I just got a black eye from a bead thrown at me.
Oh, I don't know if these are going to fit over my head. No, they're not.
Told you you had a big head.
Oh, and there's the red one here. I believe it is the rainbow flag, folks.
All right,
very good. Well done.
He's
the latest success
And Lisa and Martine, once again, have a special interview with us, for us. They're with the Chronicle.
In fact, they're with the Chronicle, which is a major supporter here of the event. And as some of you may remember, the newspaper that broke the AIDS story here in San Francisco and ended up shocking the nation and shocking the world. Lisa and Martine, I'm looking for you. Where are you?
Hey, we are down here with the Chronicle contingent, and they are going strong. They are thinking pink. Why? Because we come out every day. Standing here next to me is Joe Brown and the little man. Joe Brown, now you came up with the slogan, we come out every day. What does that mean to you?
Well, we're Northern California's largest newspaper, by the way, and we are daily, so we come out every day. We're new every day, and we're fresh every day, and we're happening every day, too. So that's what it means. We're very proud to be the newspaper sponsor of Gay Pride for the second year. We're the first major newspaper who's done an event like this. We got all kinds of attention from newspapers all over the country, showing them the way.
And as Brad was saying, the Chronicle broke really this AIDS epidemic as a problem for our entire nation many years ago. And the Chronicle continues to cover AIDS stories.
The Chronicle's still at the forefront of coverage of AIDS and will be. And with the gay community, too. We're leading the way with that, too, with coverage for daily newspapers in this country.
And as journalists, have you been troubled by what we're learning, which is sort of the rise back again of AIDS? And it's not, of course, under control on this 20th anniversary. What are around the newsroom, what do people sort of talk about?
Well, we're paying attention to that. We actually, later on in the broadcast, a couple of our reporters, including our gay and lesbian beat reporter, will be on camera to talk about those issues with you.
Thank you so much. Well, just enjoy the ride for now, then.
Yep, this is about fun right now. So check it out. Look how many people we have from the newsroom with us. We have kids and dogs. We love this event.
And we have Lord Martine of the Chronicle.
We're very proud to have Lord Martine. So.
Martine is that's right. Some of you may not know Martine is the pop culture writer for the Chronicle, and we saw the little man there. You know, the little man in the pink section sits in his chair, sleeps, falls out of his chair, depending on the film. I think for the parade, the little man isn't just falling out of the chair; he's dancing.
And here's a woman with a big voice. There's a little man once again. Hey. Pink's the color of the day for him, I think.
I believe so.
Don't see any leather on him. What you're hearing right now is jazz vocalist Shannon Day, and she'll be performing, and she is performing right now on the BV float. You know, BV Vines has been supporting Human Rights Campaign for about 2 years. And they do this through sponsoring fine wine and dining series in San Francisco, LA, Seattle, Portland, and 100% of the proceeds go directly to the Human Rights Campaign.
An excellent wine organization up in the Napa Valley, BV Wine. Gary Cuevas is here joining us. Gary is with the 77 Maiden Lane, one of the popular spas and salons here in San Francisco. But they were just talking about with the San Francisco Chronicle breaking the AIDS story. It really has been the story of 2 decades here in San Francisco.
It certainly has in the salon. We have lost actually too many people to HIV and AIDS, and quite tragic. That was also another reason why we wanted to come out here and support and help.
And it's important, especially for younger people now, to get the message. You know, people in their 30s and 40s who lived through this, lost their loved ones to AIDS, they really understand how serious it is. But sadly, there are some teenagers and adolescents and young people who you know how it is when you're an adolescent. It's hard to believe that you are mortal.
Yeah, they're not attending the funerals like we were at 21, 22, 23, because thank God people are living with it. But the information still has to get out there. The outreach has to happen, and that's why those organizations are fantastic and needed.
And marching down Market Street right now is the San Francisco AIDS Foundation, leading the way in this AIDS prevention effort that we talked to. You are watching live coverage of the 31st Annual Pride Parade here on Market Street in San Francisco on WB20. We'll be right back.
You're watching WB20's exclusive live coverage of the San Francisco 2001 Pride Parade, presented by Bud Light, for the great taste that won't fill you up and never let you down. We'll be back with more thrilling Pride Parade coverage on WB20.
Do you want to play? Give us a call. Call me tonight. Call me now. Call us tonight. We're waiting for your call. Come play with us. It's better than playing alone.
It's free and it's fun.
This call is free. 1-800-919-9999. Must be 18.
Let the games begin.
In the light of the 21st century, get ready for the future. Power up with guaranteed low prices in every department at Fry's Electronics.
This 15-inch LCD display monitor, now $389 after mail-in rebate. 18.4 gig Ultra 160 SCSI drive, $219. Sony DVD CD player with Dolby Digital decoding, $249.
Remember, your best buys are always at Fry's. Guaranteed.
Call us now at 1-900-976-GIRL. $3.99 per minute. Must be 18.
Girl, girl, call girl.
We now return to WB20's exclusive coverage of the San Francisco 2001 Pride Parade, presented by Body Time. For 30 years, the original bath and body care company. Now live from Market Street in downtown San Francisco, WB20 anchors Lisa Kim and Brad Hicks.
And welcome back to the San Francisco Pride Parade 2001, the 31st Annual Gay Pride Parade.
Look at that spectacular view from the Hobart building on Market Street. The sun is coming up. Balloon Girl. I'll tell you something, the Balloon Girl is a fantastic, crime crazy girl gang of the 80s, you could say. The float, however, is broken. You know, this is live television. These things happen. The Balloon Girl float.
What is it actually? You know what? Tires,
I believe it's a Hertz rented truck that is broken down on Market Street. A backlog behind Balloon Girl. But hey, if you have to break down and stay on one float, well, Balloon Girl may be the one to do. In fact, you know, Tonica Collins carries the tradition created by the Balloon Girls. This year's entry is dedicated to the past and future Balloon Girls. They say it's a state of mind.
And right now, it's a state of not even moving because the truck is broken.
That's right. Is Lord Martin and Lady Lisa Bernard down there with the broken truck by any chance? Get to the bottom of what the problem is. It a transmission problem?
Who needs a truck? We've got an exciting... They are happy to be here today. With me is William. Tell me what
the greatest thing I've ever been to. I mean, it's my very first Pride and everything. I live all the way in Southern California, and they don't have too many prides on there, or at least I haven't been to any. And I came all the way up here, and now I'm with my friends and everything, and this is just great. This is the greatest experience I've ever had, honestly.
Thank you so much. Thanks for being with us.
Here's Jane. Jane, what on earth brings you out to all this madness today?
Because this is America! Land of the free, home of the brave! Woo! Gay pride!
Right on, Jane. Backing you up in the booth.
Could those balloons be symbolic of something? I don't know, but it could be.
Hey, good news. As you can see, the float is moving.
This truck is finally working.
That's right.
We're just going to stop talking for a second. This speaker goes by. It's very loud.
Get off that couch and start dancing to this parade.
No one's going to watch. No one's going to know. You know, the Balloon Girl float obviously has some transmission problems or something. Again, it is backed up Market Street. You can see the parade backed up all the way to the Ferry Building. We're going to take you to commercial break. We'll be right back live here on WB20.
You're watching WB20's exclusive live coverage of the San Francisco 2001 Pride Parade, presented by Body Time. For 30 years, the original bath and body care company. More stimulating Pride Parade coverage will continue in a moment on WB20.
On the WB Monday.
Wow.
Things are heating up.
Can I get a glass of water? I'm a little thirsty. I want to marry that woman.
You might want to get her name.
Too bad Mom and Dad always cool things off.
They wouldn't do anything.
When she kisses me. Never mind.
Seventh Heaven. Then, his will to defend the helpless has no limits.
You do what you have to do.
My hero.
Angel. After Seventh Heaven.
Monday at 8 on WB20.
Drew gets shanghaied. Good God, woman, you sent him to China? Now he's up the Yangtze River without a paddle.
Kind of a practical joke.
Wow, good joke. Next, Drew.
Monday at 6 on WB20. There are 2,001 ways to have a summer blast at the Alameda County Fair. Journey through time to find a treasure chest overflowing with kids' WB20 prizes. Pick up a treasure map at the information booth and have a summer blast.
Whatever you decide to do with your life, I know your future will be luminous.
This is your life, and you should enjoy it.
Wherever you decide to go when you leave, remember your days in Cape Side fondly. Keep close those who shared your childhood. They will always love you in a way no one else can. I was just waiting to find somebody I loved as much as I loved you.
You'll always have a piece of my heart.
Dawson's Creek.
Wednesday at 8 on WB20. We now return to WB20's exclusive coverage of the San Francisco 2001 Pride Parade, presented by 77 Maiden Lane Salon and Spa. Spend an hour or spend a day. Now live from Market Street in downtown San Francisco, WB20 anchors Lisa Kim and Brad Hicks.
And welcome back to the San Francisco Gay Pride Parade. You're looking at a stuffed float right now, but we're enjoying the music. This is the Balloon Girl.
That's right. This is the Balloon Girls, and the float has broken here on Market Street. As you can see, they're in between working on the hitch right now, trying to get the thing fixed before us, because this float's been stuck here for about 5 minutes, and the parade is getting backed up further and further east on Market Street, all the way to the bay.
But it's giving us an opportunity to dance to this music and get warmed up, because it's a little chilly here. But you know what? So the float is stuck, but we have here, right with us, some condoms. You're asking, why do we have condoms? Because these are one of many trinkets that float people are sending to us.
All right, Lisa Bernard, our Lady Lisa, is with Sharon Smith out there right now on Market Street. Take it away, Lady Lisa.
Well, first we're going to speak with the Marriage Equality of California group and tell me why you're here marching today.
We're here marching today because we are trying to end discrimination and civil marriage rights in the state of California.
Thank you so much. And of course, as we know here in San Francisco, there is certainly a move to have equal rights for marriage. With me is Sharon Smith. Thank you for joining us. And her partner, Diane Whipple, was the woman who you may have heard of, was killed by the vicious dog attack not long ago. And tell me why you're marching here with this sign.
I'm marching, as the sign says, in memory of Diane Whipple. We have a booth here. The Diane Alexis Whipple Foundation, which is set up in front of the Bill Graham Center. And I'm here with marriage equality because I think my case represents, and really I think now I'm starting to be a symbol myself for what is wrong with the current laws. And hopefully working with organizations like this, NCLR, we're going to change the law and expand the definition of spouse to include same-sex partners.
Now, you say you were here last year for your first time. Was Diane with you?
Yeah, last year was the first time the two of us had ever participated in the San Francisco Pride.
So it must be difficult for you this year.
This whole thing is difficult. I mean, it's intense being here and hearing the crowd.
Well, thank you for spending some time with us. If you would quickly tell people what your case is, people who don't know.
Right now, I'm in the process of suing the two people, well, actually all parties that are responsible for the death of my partner, Diane Whipple.
And also, though, there's a domestic partner suit on top of that.
Right. Are you speaking about AB 25? Yeah, Carol Migden, Assemblywoman Carol Migden has authored AB 25, which includes rights for same-sex partners to sue in a wrongful death situation.
That's right, because currently you can't sue in a wrongful death situation. Well, thank you, and I hope you get the word out today. Our thoughts are with you as always.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Back to you guys.
Okay, thank you, Lisa. What you're looking at right now is our live coverage on Market Street, and you're trying to repair the Balloon Girl float.
I think they're using manpower now.
It looked like what happened is that the hitch between the truck that's pulling the float and the float broke, and so they're sort of using, well, like I said, manpower to keep that hitch together, but it is very slow going now for the Balloon Girl float. Blasting the music here on Market Street. The balloons flying in the breeze. All the colors of the rainbow flag. 6 colors representing diversity coming together. And now the Balloon Girl float is inching its way down Market Street. Behind Balloon Girl is Team San Francisco. This is the organizing group for the Gay Games in Sydney, Australia in 2002. 7 days, 31 sports, and 11,000 athletes heading to Sydney in 2002 for the Gay Games. It is Team San Francisco.
I think they have a little message for David Letterman.
David Letterman come out. Now, is there something we don't know about Dave?
Well, today's the day, Dave, if you do want to come out.
Maybe Dave will say it for the New York Pride Parade. Team San Francisco. Joining us right now is Gary Cuevas. Gary is with 77 Maiden Lane, a very popular spa and salon here in San Francisco. Gary, you know, the Gay Games, when they started, I remember were somewhat controversial. People were saying, why do gay people need their own Olympic Games? And yet the momentum has been remarkable, and now it's a huge event. 11,000 athletes are expecting in Sydney, Australia.
That's right. Pretty amazing. I once met a gay bowler. There you go.
Yeah. You know, I would like a T-shirt that just says, I once met a gay bowler.
Yeah,
and let people guess what that
few.
means.
Gay Olympic gay bowler, yeah.
Yeah, I understand there are going to be 100 soccer teams alone at the Gay Games.
Sure, why not? Of course. We've always participated in sports. You know, those that do, you can. We're there. That's the whole point. We're everywhere.
There it is, Team San Francisco. This is the sailing unit.
Cool. And another indication here, as you can see, that families are coming out as well to support those who are lesbian, gay, bi, or trans.
And some street hockey members as well. And there's the couple that we talked to earlier, I believe, when they were on their motorcycle, if I'm not mistaken, getting ready to have a little marriage ceremony.
Are they tying the knot there?
Yes, they are. One of those very contentious issues for the gay community, of course, being that you cannot legally get married with your life partner, the person you love.
And here, once again, is the San Francisco Fog Rugby Football Club. It's the only gay rugby team in California and the second gay rugby team in the U.S. Now, the team welcomes new players whether they have played rugby or not. So it's not really based on skill, I suppose, but camaraderie and just wanting to play.
Continuing our theme of athletics in the gay community, I'll tell you, rugby, if any of you have ever played rugby, is not for the faint of heart. It is tough. Heck no, I value my face.
That's your living.
Yeah, I mean, the rugby is rough. I'll tell you, we were just talking about with Gary about one of the big issues here in San Francisco in the gay community is that you cannot legally marry your partner, the person you love. Marching now is marriage equality, and you can see the symbolic link between this couple right here, a lesbian couple, and that is one of the big fights left for the gay community, is to become a first-class citizen, an accepted citizen, that they can get married.
And following that contingent is the Bay Area Lawyers for Individual Freedom. Now, that's an organization that consists of attorneys, judges, legal workers, and law students who are dedicated to advocating for justice for the LGBT community. Still, once again, you're looking at the Marriage Equality California Alliance contingent.
Last year, they performed a ceremony right during the middle of the parade, in fact. A couple that chose to get married, and I believe later in the parade, there is a unit coming in from Hawaii that is marching in the parade, and Hawaii has had one of the, yes, exactly, and they have had one of the landmark cases in the gay marriage debate. Back in 1990, a couple tried to get married for the past decade. This thing has been fought out in the courts.
And his the Lambda Legal Defense and Education Fund.
You're watching our live coverage here on WB20 of the 31st Annual Lesbian, Gay, Bisexual, Transgender Parade, one of the landmark events here in the city of San Francisco. I guess this and what maybe the beta breakers are the two biggest things that happen in the city.
I think there are a lot more people out here today than beta breakers.
Just a huge event. We have a wonderful person joining us right now. Cecilia Chung has been here involved in this effort. Those of you who have watched WB20 over the past year have seen the stories we've done on Cecilia, her struggles, her vocal outreach here in the community when there was a debate over whether transgenders should receive city health benefits. Cecilia, transgender herself, welcome.
Thank you.
Great to see you.
Glad to be here.
So what do you think of this year's parade?
Well, I think it's really exciting because we have added more venues this year. We have a women's stage, the first ever, and we also have an African-American stage.
You're talking about over to Civic Center in the celebration.
Yes, that's the big party after the parade.
So welcome to my party, by the way. And the African-American stage is the first time that is produced by African-American for an African-American. And we also have the second year of the Asian Pacific Islander Wellness Center did an API stage.
There are so many wonderful things going on. Right now what you're seeing is Healing Waters. This is a group that takes people with AIDS on rafting and kayaking and sea kayaking and cross-country skiing, backpacking trips. It's a way to basically get people to unite and appreciate what nature has to offer, and it is just a fantastic organization, one of the many great organizations you'll see out here, Healing Waters.
And following this
they're
float,
dressed in blue. Hello.
Hey, we'll go kayaking, but after the parade. Lots of colorful costumes.
It is just a
today.
fantastic day out here for the Pride Parade in San Francisco.
As
we
they
hope
say,
you're enjoying.
queerific, right?
Queerific is the theme this year. We hope you're enjoying our live coverage at home down Market Street. There is no more colorful event in San Francisco than the Pride Parade. Sit back, enjoy. There is more to come live here on WB20. We'll be right back.
Lots coming up.
You're watching WB20's exclusive live coverage of the San Francisco 2001 Pride Parade. Brought to you in part by Good Vibrations, making your pleasure our business since 1977. More exciting Pride Parade coverage will continue in a moment on WB20.
You like what you see? Then pick up the phone.
chat with the We Are 18 girls. That's 1-800-WE-ARE-18. Just $2.50 to $5.99 per minute for adults only. Always tan, always wet, and always having fun. There are only 2 ways to reach us, by phone at 1-800-WE-ARE-18 or on the web. We love cyber.
We're just 18, and you can call us.
Order your copy of WB20's broadcast of the 2001 Pride Parade. Just $29.95 plus $6 shipping and handling for the 2-tape set. Order today. Call 1-800-GET-WOLF or order online at wolfvideo.com. Allow 6 to 8 weeks for delivery. Summer Blast is brought to you in part by Naturally Fresh California Fresh Eggs are great any way you make them, for breakfast, lunch, or dinner. So look for the California Fresh Eggs logo, because fresher is better. Moesha, weekdays at 8 on WB20.
The WB Monday has a new hero.
How you doing?
A champion to stand between darkness and innocence.
Nice horse. Try not to make me look stupid out there, okay?
To help the helpless, sometimes he must bare his soul.
But I sent you away, oh Mandy.
That man will do anything to save a life.
Angel.
Monday at 9 on WB20. We now return to WB20's exclusive live coverage of the San Francisco 2001 Pride Parade, presented by Bud Light, for the great taste that won't fill you up and never let you down. Now live from Market Street in downtown San Francisco, WB20 anchors Lisa Kim and Brad Hicks.
And welcome back to this fantastic, queerific gay Pride Parade. We've got everything. We've got, what, condoms, we've got beads.
We're celebrating.
Fortune cookies.
The theme this year is queerific. For those of you wondering, you know, queer was often a derogatory term used for homosexuals. The gay community said, we're queer, we're proud, we're reclaiming that. This is P-Flag right now down on Market Street. This is the parents and families and friends of lesbians and gays. And our own Lord Martine is down there right now.
Hey.
Take it away, Martine.
Hey, hey, hey. I don't know. Oh, there it is.
Where is that camera anyway?
This is Craig. He is from Monterey, and he is a representative of P-Flag. Craig, can you tell us what P-Flag is?
P-Flag is parents, families, and friends of lesbians and gays.
And you have marched in this parade for years
This
and years.
is like the 5th year, and it is so much fun.
Very cool, very cool. Now tell us, this contingent started, or this organization started how long ago?
God, I don't know, in the 70s.
Yeah, and
like
it
way
basically was a way that parents and friends of their lesbian and gay friends and children could show their support, right?
Yes, yes. And now, I mean, P-Flag has chapters all over the country, all over the world.
How can people find out more information? I'm sorry, Lisa.
That's a good question. Pflag.org. O-R-G.
Pflag.org. Check it out.
Or if you're in Monterey County, 831-655-3524.
Okay. Hope you had your pens ready.
Thanks for being with us.
Thank
Back
you.
to you guys.
Thanks a lot, Lisa and Martine. There you see once again P-Flag.
And it is a big contingent. I mean, this is really what it is about. This is fantastic. You see parents with signs that say proud parent, and you talk to anybody who has come out, and the support of their parents is so key to their feeling accepted. You know, another group that has had a very difficult time with this battle are Muslims here in the Bay Area who are gay or lesbian, who have made this decision to come out because it is no simple task when you practice Islam to come out of the closet. There are a lot of serious issues.
It's a hard balance, a balance between your sexual freedom and your religious freedom following the Quran. We spent some time with a couple of Muslim gays, or actually one in particular, to get his perspective on this problem and compare himself with others in his religion.
When our commandment came, we turned the towns of Sodom in Palestine upside down.
Behold, thy sustainer is abounding in forgiveness.
These two men are reading from the Muslim holy book called the Quran. Both are practicing Muslims, but there's a big difference between them.
And that is he who destroyed the ancient tribes.
Malik Brusman is gay.
God created me to be different and everything. And this is a religion that worships the God of creation.
Ibrahim Nana doesn't see it that way.
In Islam, homosexuality is considered a major sin, a kabira sin. It is one of the worst sins one can do.
And Nana points to this passage from the Quran to back this position on homosexuality. It says, "And thou indeed sought to shame his guest by asking to commit sodomy with them. So we blinded their eyes, saying, then taste you my torment and my warning." Nana says the prophets interpreted the passage this way.
Kill them. The one who does it and the one to whom it is done. The punishment for someone that's openly caught in the act, the punishment should be being stoned to death.
It's not part of the scriptures of Islam. It's recounted as something that the Prophet said. And these sort of retellings of things that the Prophet said are not considered, even in mainstream Islam, to be pure.
Even so, Brustman admits homosexuality is far from being accepted in Muslim circles. He's not scared, but he still worships alone.
There's not a physical risk. It's just the risk of ostracization. If they don't know you're gay, it's wonderful, you know. I mean, it's just warm. The risk is that you'll just lose all that.
Brustman says by interpreting the Quran his way, he's able to reconcile his sexual orientation with his religion.
Islam is the religion, for me at least, and everything, and it's supposed to be a religion for all people.
And there you have the Al-Fatiha Foundation. It's an international organization dedicated to Muslims who are lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgendered, those questioning their sexual orientation or gender identity and their friends.
And you can see by the piece we just showed you the real challenge it is for people who are practicing Islam to come out, because it does have the potential to create some great conflict within the family, within their community. And these are people who are standing up today and saying, that's okay, we are who we are and we're proud of it.
And they provide a safe space and forum for the LGBT in San Francisco.
And in fact, I believe Lord Martin or is Lady Lisa Bernard down there right now with a contingent with the gay Muslim marchers. It's both of them. Hello.
Hello, Brad and Lisa. And with us is Faisal. We just saw a piece talking about how difficult it is for people of Islamic faith to come out. Tell me how difficult it actually is.
It's extremely difficult. I mean, the situation of GLBT Muslims in the world today is very, very bad. Islam continues to be one of the most homophobic religions in the world. And by being here today, we're showing that we are becoming visible. We are here as a community, and we're going to unite and mobilize.
And this is the very first time that you have come out, so to speak, and been in the Pride Parade in San Francisco.
Yes, it is. It's our first time as an organization. There are more than 5 countries here represented and about 60 people behind me, as you can see.
How does it feel? This is new to be coming out like this. How does it feel?
It's really wonderful. It's powerful. It's scary at the same time because we have become a target now, but we're really excited about the work in the future.
And certainly what you learn here, you'll take back to those countries.
Yes, we will. I mean, we have 9 Al-Fatiha chapters now in the West, and we're hoping to expand that to Islamic countries as well.
Thank you.
You're looking terrific. Are we feeling terrific?
Thanks a lot, Martine and Lisa. I'm telling you, what's really queerific today is this contingent that's coming up, a very popular contingent, the Birds of Paradise.
Yeah, you can't get more colorful than the Birds of Paradise. This is a group of samba dancers, and they're out there doing the authentic tradition. It's a little bit of Carnival right here on Market Street. But I'll tell you something, what we see today tops Carnival, huh?
If you want to learn those moves, woo, look at those hot moves, Brad. They have dance lessons, that is, and costume design for the Bay Area.
Lisa, you got to see who Lord Martin and Lady Lisa have right now. Check this out. Are you guys there, ready for your interview? Look at this.
I think they're dancing right now.
There they are. How about that?
Is it not working?
There you go. It's working now.
Okay.
It's working now.
All right. We are here with one of the most fabulous contingents on Gay Pride. It is the Birds of Paradise. They work hours, years, days, months on these costumes. Honey, tell us about your costume.
Well, I'm the designer for this group, and it takes a long time to get them done. And we are really proud of our culture and our heritage, and that's what we try to bring, some color and some music and some fun to this parade. And we're very, very happy to be here.
Is this parade any different than any other year? You're here every year.
every year is very different, and we love it every time we do here.
We love you back, honey. I see you won an award here?
Yes. It's a Queerific Overall Contingent Prize.
You rock.
Thank you.
You rock. We're going to take flight here and fly away. You look beautiful.
Fly away.
You know, that's not the only award they've won so far. They also won awards for Absolutely Fabulous Contingent, Best Musical Group, and 2 cable car awards as well.
Yeah, I think they're going to win the award for the most thongs in the parade, too. I've never seen this many thongs.
Probably some of the best looking bodies in this parade
See,
as
our
well.
cameras are looking at the front side of the parade. We're looking at the back side.
Yeah, we're bringing up the rear, as they say.
The Positive Resource Center is the next group behind the Birds of Paradise, and they'll be joining us in just a moment. But we want you to continue with these Birds of Paradise. These costumes are just fantastic. The feathers, the multicolored boots, and, well, shall we say G-strings, huh?
I wonder how heavy those headdresses are, though, for them to move that way. I think Brad is just mesmerized right now. He's trying to learn these dance moves.
Yeah, I'm trying to
Got 'em down?
memorize every step. That's what it is. No, seriously, I mean, I've never seen this many thongs. Never in my life.
A Victoria's Secret, maybe.
Oh, my God. Woo!
We also have here today and with us on the set, Teddy Witherington. He is the executive director of the Pride Parade. Teddy, thanks for joining us.
Hi, Kim. Happy Pride.
Thank you very much. It's a fantastic parade today.
Yeah, it's marvelous when you kind of walk up the route and see all the costumes and the effort that all the groups go to. And we're so fortunate today to have so many new contingents in the parade. We already saw the Al-Fatihah Foundation, the Gay Muslims. That's the first time they've been in any Pride parade in the world. Because, of course, you know, it's not possible for them to march in their own
Sort of a
countries.
coming out for them as well.
A huge step.
Yeah. And they've been having a conference all week in San Francisco here called Reclaiming Your Faith. Very successful at the Women's Building. We also have a gay Armenian group coming up later on. And what's nice about this parade is just the rolling kaleidoscope of diversity that we see. In the space of half an hour, you have, you know, anything from the Birds of Paradise with their thongs to Assemblyman Kevin Shelley, to the gay Muslims, to the leather folk, and Jan Wall. You know, he's here with the Positive Resource Center.
That's
right.
Teddy, it's so great to have you here. Teddy's going to be sticking with us for a while here because he has such great insights into the gay community
And
the
such
bisexual
beautiful
community,
beads as well.
And such beautiful beads.
A present.
Absolutely.
We got them on.
And the Queer as Folk hat. We got to take a commercial break right now. When we come back, Gold's Gym. This is a contingent that has won awards year after year here for their float. We think you're going to be in for a wonderful treat. When we come right back here with our live coverage of the Gay, Lesbian, Transgender, Bisexual Parade here on Market Street in San Francisco, live on WB20.
We want to pump you up.
You're watching WB20's exclusive live coverage of the San Francisco 2001 Pride Parade, presented by Body Time. For 30 years, the original bath and body care company. More stimulating Pride Parade coverage will continue in a moment on WB20.
Kiki's the assistant to the biggest star in the world.
Ow!
Her sister.
Could you make me some scrambled eggs? Please, Kiki, please.
She's always been behind the scenes, but this summer...
You've never read a book in your life. Oh, wait a minute. I have to. I read all 4 Harry Potter. That's good for you.
She's coming into her own.
Wow, look at you. You look great, Kiki. Thanks. You here to talk to me?
America's Sweethearts, rated PG-13. Opens everywhere Friday.
This is WB20, the Bay Area's WB. We now return to WB20's exclusive coverage of the San Francisco 2001 Pride Parade, presented by 77 Maiden Lane Salon and Spa. Spend an hour or spend a day. Now live from Market Street in downtown San Francisco, WB20 anchors Lisa Kim and Brad Hicks.
Lots of bronze bodies out there, golden bodies, should we say, and a lot of buff bodies in the Gold's Gym contingent. And we've got Lord Martine and Lisa once again with the crowd.
On this float, tell me what this is all about.
This is all about Gold's Gym, hard body, and solid gold dancers.
That's what I'm talking about.
I'm seeing some hard bodies up here.
Yeah,
You having fun, Ron?
I'm having a blast. This is the best time, best float, best year. Right on.
Have you been here many years?
3 years in a row, first place. 3 years in a row, first place.
First place for the prizes?
Yep.
All right, well, good luck again this year.
Thank you very much. The feeling is incredible. Happy New Pride, San Francisco.
Thank you.
Are you having fun, guys?
I'm having fun.
Where's the after party?
Oh, I don't know. I think over there.
I'm following you to the after party.
Over there.
Groovy. Back to you guys up at the booth.
You guys.
Definitely get off.
I don't know. I feel kind of weak compared to those buff bodies. I think it's time for us to go to the gym, Brad.
I don't know. Boy, that is pretty great scene there. Solid gold after what the 1980s hit show there, Solid Gold.
Yes, I confessed. I watched it. What about you?
Oh, sure.
Come on. Come on.
Yeah.
I've seen your dance moves. I know.
You know, as they were saying, the Gold's Gym contingent has won awards here every year they have been here because of their extravagant and very well-coordinated floats. This year's was designed by Nick Rendon III, and what a great job they've done developing the theme of solid gold here. This is the Student Association for Sexual Orientation, a very active group here in San Francisco at the Pacific Graduate School of Psychology in Palo Alto. They're dedicated to increasing awareness of lesbian and gay and bisexual and transgender issues. Always active here in the Pride Parade. It's great to have them, and it's great to have Cecilia Chung here, the president of Pride this year. Cecilia is transgender and has gone through the difficult path that is required of many people who are transgender, and it must be just a great affirmation to be here and to see all this support.
It is great to be here, and I think that is the true spirit of Pride, to be able to overcome all obstacles, to be truly who we really are, and not to apologize for what we are and our identity or our sexual preference.
Cecilia, we see so many outlandish, really over-the-top costumes here. And obviously, this is not how most of these people dress day in and day out. But it's an overstatement because it's saying, not only can I be gay or lesbian or transgender, but I can be gay, lesbian, transgender, and dress like this, and it's still okay.
And queerific as well, definitely, because what we are promoting today is equal rights. We are all human, and we have basic human rights. And it's great to be in the city of San Francisco with all these diversity, and also, you know, with such a supportive city. We just had the transgender health benefits passed for the city employees. I think that's one milestone for us as well.
Fantastic.
Do you feel sometimes, though, that the trans community still has to apologize from time to time?
I personally don't think we have to apologize. Number one, we are telling people who we are. It's just like our given name. Nobody questions our first name. Nobody questions our last name. Why should they question our gender?
Fantastic. Thank you, Cecilia.
Thank you.
Tom Amiano, the president of the Board of Supervisors in San Francisco, coming down Market Street right now, a leader in the gay community in so many ways. Our Lady Lisa Bernard has Tom right now. Lady Lisa?
Yes, I am here with Tom Amiano, supervisor for San Francisco.
Hi.
You are here every year. Tell me why this year is different, if it is.
Well, you know, there's a sameness, and then there's also a difference. I mean, I think when you get a president like George Bush, who won't sign a commendation to the lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender community, maybe because he can't write that many words, then you get a reaction to that, which is people who support the issue of queer rights come out, and then, of course, a lot of queer people come out to say, all right, George, don't sign it, but we are still here, we are still queer, and eventually we will make a difference, not only on a federal level, but even on the local level. So
And
this is a great sense of affirmation.
And certainly people like yourself work very hard in the city of San Francisco. We know this here in terms of health benefits for people who work for the city, in terms of transgender.
Transgender, which is part of the queer civil rights movement, so we were very gratified that could occur. A lot of stuff is of course education, but we made that difference. And when I go around to different parts of the country, people always bring this issue up, and they bring it up in a much more positive way that's been portrayed sometimes in the media. So I'm happy to say that the electorate is way ahead of some politicians sometimes.
Thank you so much.
Right.
Thank you so much. Get the word out today. Thanks for joining us.
And thank you, Lisa.
Well, you know, it isn't often you hear politicians say the electorate is ahead of the politicians, but you heard it here following Supervisor Amiano as the Harvey Milk Lesbian, Gay, Bisexual, Transgender Democratic Club marching down Market Street.
It was founded in 1977 as the San Francisco Gay Democratic Club. It was the city's largest Democratic club, and it's known for its progressive politics and its fierce, very fierce independence.
And they're followed by San Francisco Pride at Work. This just became an AFL-CIO constituency, Group 3, in fact, 3 years ago. And a strong local presence. You'll see them marching for the rights of workers, and following them, the Green Party, marching down Market Street. Of course, Medea Benjamin, the most active member of the Green Party here in San Francisco. If you watch our news at all, you know who Medea Benjamin is, because she has been one of the leading protesters through the power crisis, protesting PG&E at the various hearings they have had here in San Francisco. This was the party that Ralph Nader was representing in November in the presidential election.
And almost every time Medea is taken out by force from those meetings for her vocal views on the matter. Everybody has a pretty much vocal view on this energy crisis and the high prices we're paying for our electricity.
Teddy Witherington joins us on the set here. Teddy is the executive director of Pride San Francisco. Teddy, it must be really an affirmation to see not just groups focused on gay lesbian issues out here, but folks focused on a number of issues saying we support the gay lesbian community.
Yeah, well, we're what any community is. You know, we're political, we're partiers, we're black, we're white, we're stupid, we're smart, we're all those things. And what's wonderful about the Pride Parade is you see all of that. You see all the aspects of the community. You know, we have a section in the parade now that has just passed that is very overtly political. President Bush didn't issue his proclamation this year, which was a disappointment to everyone. But, you know, we're here and we're still queerific and we're still having fun, whether or not we get a proclamation or not. And it's kind of sad for me as a British person who now lives in America as my adopted country, when the president of that country can't be bothered to say "Have a nice day,"
What is the status
which is the most American thing of all.
What is the status of gays and lesbians in England? I mean, are they accepted here, or is it better or worse?
I think, you know, the situation this year has been one of tremendous advances for our community, both locally here with transgender health benefits granted by the city, nationally with civil unions in Vermont. And when you go over to Europe, you see the mayors of Paris, Berlin are gay. In Holland, there is gay marriage. You know, the path is onward and upward. And it's a little bit disappointing for me to see that America is falling a little bit behind, but I'm sure that's not going to last for long.
This is a great event, the parade itself, an opportunity for some people to come out, to express their freedom, to get the support from the community that they may not get every day. But it doesn't end with the parade, does it?
No, I mean, you know, this is our annual ritual, but behind this parade there is an immensely strong and immensely proud community that is doing things every day of the year.
Teddy,
everything from the AIDS organizations and political groups, you know.
Teddy, I understand one of our crews down the street is talking to, has Harry Hay, and why don't you fill our viewers in on the just phenomenally important role that Harry Hay has had in the gay movement here in San Francisco?
Yeah, Harry Hay was one of the original founders of the Mattachine Society in the 1950s. Not only that, but he was an open communist in those years as well. So he struggled against immense odds and really kind of is the grandfather of the queer movement. And we were so proud that 2 years ago he was our Grand Marshal in the parade. And there is a film coming out about his life. And
I believe Lord Martine is down with him right now. Lord Martine, if you can hear us, I see you're with Harry Hay. Lord Martine, take it away.
Hey, we are here with the legendary Harry Hay, and he has just been bestowed with a fabulous award. Harry, how do you feel today?
I feel absolutely wonderful. And I also want to say that one of the reasons why I feel so wonderful is that this is what I dreamed about. This is what I pushed. for 45, 48 years. And to be a part of it now at the end of that time is an absolutely fabulous experience.
Honey, you are fabulous. You are looking good. We're going to let you go. Carry on. And with the rest of the parade, enjoy your award. We've got Paul Gabriel here with the Gay Lesbian Historical Society. He's going to explain why he just bestowed Harry Hay with this wonderful award.
Well, Harry is one of our great elders in our community. He founded the Mattachine Society, which was the first gay rights organization after World War II, with a group of men, and from that came what you see today. And so we all to Harry is one of the great elders and founders.
And he's a beautiful man, and he is queerific. We're all queerific, and we're going to send it back to you in the booth.
Martine, we have condoms, we have beads, we have spirit, we are queerific, and so is that little puppy dog right there, celebrating on Market Street. A fabulous day out here for the Pride Parade. You are watching live coverage on WB of the 31st Annual San Francisco Pride Parade on Market Street. We'll be back after this.
You're watching WB20's exclusive live coverage of the San Francisco 2001 Pride Parade, brought to you in part by Good Vibrations, making your pleasure our business since 1977. More exciting Pride Parade coverage will continue in a moment on WB20. Where can you go to see jets racing through the sky and get the chance to walk inside some of the world's biggest airplanes? The Air Expo at Moffett Field. That's just one place you'll visit as one of WB20's Summer Blast winners. Weekly winners receive family passes to over 6 Bay Area attractions, plus 10 cases of 7-Up. Remember to make 7-Up yours whenever you visit Safeway. To enter, visit the Summer Blast page at WB20.com or send a postcard to WB20 Summer Blast, brought to you by 7-Up and Safeway.
In the light of the 21st century, get ready for the future. Power up. With guaranteed low prices in every department at Fry's Electronics.
This 15-inch LCD display monitor, now $389 after mail-in rebate. 18.4 gig Ultra 160 SCSI drive, $219. Sony DVD CD player with Dolby Digital decoding, $249.
Remember, your best buys are always at Fry's. Guaranteed.
Always presents the facts of protection. We change position an average of 32 times a night. That's a lot of moving, which is why we need Always Overnight with more side protection. Always wings are double the length of other wings to help protect where others don't, even when we move. Double the wing sure beats half a wing. Always. Expect more protection.
We now return to WB20's exclusive live coverage of the San Francisco 2001 Pride Parade, presented by Bud Light, for the great taste that won't fill you up and never let you down. Now live from Market Street in downtown San Francisco, WB20 anchors Lisa Kim and Brad Hicks.
And welcome back to our live coverage of the San Francisco Pride Parade. This contingent is the Cortlandt Avenue Merchants Association, and one of their businesses there on Cortlandt Avenue, Bernal Beast. They're in Bernal Heights. A number of businesses on Cortlandt Avenue coming together, serving the gay community. Bernal Beast had a bunch of little puppy dogs out here, all dressed in the rainbow colors of the rainbow flag.
It is once again the 31st annual Gay Pride. A lot of singing going on today, a lot of dancing, lots of show of support.
And the sun is starting to come out here on Market Street, so people are...
I'm definitely feeling warmer. What about you?
Well, they're lightening their load, shall we say, here on Market Street.
And that contingent is Jeff Adachi. Jeff Adachi is a civil rights activist and the former chief attorney in the San Francisco Public Defender's Office. Adachi now is in private practice in San Francisco.
Coming up Market Street right now is the Jewish Family and Children's Services since 1850, and that's not a mistake. 1850, this nonprofit, non-sectarian social service agency has alleviated the human suffering and helped people of all ages and faiths and ethnic backgrounds live the best lives possible. And that's what this is about, living the best life possible here on Pride Parade and Celebration Day in San Francisco.
And following them, Congregation Beth Shalom. It traces its beginnings in San Francisco back to 1904. And it was in 1921 that the congregation finally purchased a former Baptist church on 4th Avenue and took the name Beth Shalom.
And Temple Sinai in Oakland also marching in the parade today. Temple Sinai is a Reformed congregation, 750 households in the Oakland area. They're right in the heart of Oakland. And of course, they're promoting Judaism. And here today, they're celebrating Pride, gay pride, lesbian pride, bisexual and transgender pride. Parents, friends, people of all walks of life come out here and say the most important thing in life is be who you are and be happy of who you are.
And what you're seeing right now is the contingent of Susan Liao. She is the treasurer, city and county of San Francisco. In 1997, Liao was elected as the first openly lesbian treasurer in California. And she's with family, friends, and members of her staff today.
And the president of San Francisco Pride, Cecilia Chung, is here. Cecilia, you're waving to people in Susan's contingent there. Many people you know, your friends here.
No, I'm just appreciating everybody's effort to be part of this big event. It's great to see all the people and how colorful everybody is. But of course, I'm waving at Susan also.
I thought so.
I think you're waving at a lot of people today. Once again, the Honorable Susan Liao, treasurer of the city and county of San Francisco.
People tossing beads up here to the stage and all sorts of stuff. This is a fantastic day here in San Francisco. The sun is just starting to come out, as I mentioned, as you can see on the streets there. And it's really warming things up and lifting the spirits here, and just a fantastic day. Cecilia's dancing, getting into the spirit. This must just be a fantastic event to see. You know, each year, it doesn't necessarily get bigger, but it gets more. You know what? I think what happens is the parade doesn't necessarily get bigger, but its presence in the community gets bigger. Its acceptance gets bigger.
And we get more and more colorful, and we see more and more diverse community coming out. And that's really one of the mission of our organization, is to let people know that it is a freedom of expression. It's a self-expression, and nobody can really dictate who we are.
Right, and being transgender, you know that some years ago when transgenders said, hey, we want to march in this parade, we want to be a part of it, there was initially some people in the gay community said, I don't know if that's what we want. But people have come around to realize that it isn't about, you know, I am this or I am that or I am that. It's all about you are whatever you are, and that's okay. Come on down and march.
And you know what? Lord Martine is what he is, and he's with the Gay Men's Chorus. Martine.
This is Kathleen McGuire from the San Francisco Gay Men's Chorus. She is the first artistic director, woman artistic director of the Gay Men's Chorus. Kathleen McGuire, I just saw your last concert. You guys are on fire. Where are you taking the Gay Men's Chorus?
Well, we've just been to Carnegie Hall in Washington, D.C., the Kennedy Center, and we're going to hopefully go all over the world. We're really doing amazing things, and soon we're going to have our 25th anniversary. So it's the world's oldest Gay Men's Chorus, and we're really proud to be from San Francisco.
And I'm telling you, everyone should go see the Gay Men's Chorus. They are fabulous. Back to you in the booth.
Very good. Thank you very much, Martine. Straights for Gay Rights is just marching down Market Street right now. This is a group that says, hey, we may be straight, but we're going to promote gay rights. This is a beautiful view from the 21st floor of the Hobart Building on Market Street. You're watching our live coverage of the Gay, Lesbian, Transgender, Bisexual Parade here on WB20. We'll be right back.
You're watching WB20's exclusive live coverage of the San Francisco 2001 Pride Parade. Brought to you in part by Good Vibrations, making your pleasure our business since 1977. More exciting Pride Parade coverage will continue in a moment on WB20.
Bad things can happen to good drivers. That's why we're here, to fight for you.
Injury lawyer William Berg.
We'll take on the insurance company to make sure they do the right thing.
William Berg.
Injured people need money for car repairs, medical bills, and lost wages.
Berg and Associates.
My job is to get car accident victims money for their injuries, the money they deserve.
Call Berg and Associates, 1-800-400-BERG.
It may be late, but the party never stops at Studio 55. Studio 55 isn't some trendy nightclub, just the summer's hottest meeting place and party line. Meet attractive new singles in your area right now for fun and new relationships. Best of all, Studio 55 is cheap. Only low long-distance rates apply. Call 1-702-835-4444. Must be 18. That's 1-702-835-4444. Studio 55 for the time of your night.
Order your copy of WB20's broadcast of the 2001 Pride Parade. Just $29.95 plus $6 shipping and handling for the 2-tape set. Order today. Call 1-800-GET-WOLF or order online at wolfvideo.com. Allow 6 to 8 weeks for delivery.
Drew gets Shanghai.
Good God, woman, you sent him to China?
Now he's up the Yangtze River without a paddle.
Kind of a practical joke. Wow, good joke.
Next, Drew.
Monday at 6 on WB20. We now return to WB20's exclusive coverage of the San Francisco 2001 Pride Parade, presented by 77 Maiden Lane Salon and Spa. Spend an hour or spend a day. Now live from Market Street in downtown San Francisco, WB20 anchors Lisa Kim and Brad Hicks.
And welcome back to the annual Gay Pride Parade, which you're looking at as Tricone, the South Asian Bay Area queers.
That's right, Lisa. You know, earlier we had on a gentleman from the Asian Wellness Center, and he was talking about all the different Asian groups that are out here marching today. And this is part of the expansion of this whole queer movement in San Francisco, the inclusion of people from all walks of life who want to come out and say, this is who I am today. By the way, Tricone publishes a magazine, and last issue had a great article about queers and Muslims and the challenges that they face that we saw here earlier that we were talking about.
Speaking of articles on the gay community, we have with us here on the set Dave Ford. He's with the Chronicle. He's a reporter and a columnist.
Hey, Dave.
How are you?
Fantastic.
Good to see you.
So how are you enjoying today's parade?
Very much. You know, I've been coming to the parade since the mid-'80s, and it's great to see how big it is and how many people come out to support it. How you know, the non-gay community also comes out to support the parade now. I mean, back then in the '80s. Sometimes some parts of the parade were just, you couldn't believe that actually people were standing. I mean, AIDS was devastating the community, and the parade at that time was just a way of getting together and saying, hey, we're able to walk, we're still alive, some of us are still here.
And the Chronicle broke the AIDS story.
Yeah, Randy Schultz did a lot of great reporting on that in the 80s, the late Randy Schultz. And you know, I mean, this is the second year that the Chronicle has sponsored the parade. We're proud to do it. I think that we're on the forefront of coverage of gay and lesbian issues. I used to write in the Gay and Lesbian Press, and I'm happy to be at the Chronicle now. And you know, we have a revamped Sunday paper, and I think people are seeing a lot of great coverage of these kinds of issues now.
So you've been covering this, or the Chronicle has been covering this you've been coming to this for the last 2 decades.
Yeah, pretty much.
So it first started out in the 80s, the AIDS epidemic. There was pretty much a solemn tone to this, but today
it's more celebratory. It's funny that I've been coming to this for 2 decades, considering I'm 19 years old.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
We're 20, so it's okay.
Right. And you know, Chris Heredia, who's here, he's a reporter at the Chronicle and has been covering a lot of the key issues, like you know, we just had an AIDS at 20 package because
Right.
AIDS is of course 20 years old. I wrote a piece that was a personal column about that time. Got a lot of responses from people, and it seems like there's a lot of people who have survived the epidemic who are actually kind of hurt by it still.
And it's so important for the mainstream media, as you know and I know, Dave, to convey the issues that are important in the gay community to the community at large.
Right.
It's very important.
And I think that through the Chronicle we're doing that. We have fair and balanced coverage. We have a lot of good columnists and so forth. Guys like Chris doing the work.
And I'm sure you have seen how the Pride Parade has really, mirrored what's going on in the gay community in San Francisco. You know, through the 80s when AIDS first started, things looked very dark. There have been some tough fights, and we really are sensing a feeling of time to celebrate the victories, aren't we, Chris? Chris, right now I don't think we have your microphone open. Do we have Chris's microphone open?
Can we get you one?
No, I'm good.
Okay. What?
I think that, I think some of the celebratory nature is I think you're absolutely right about that. I think that this is a time to pause and really celebrate where we are. We still have a long way to go, though. I mean, we're looking at civil union questions. We're looking at, gay youth in school questions. Nothing is a certainty right now. And, for gays and lesbians, there's still a sense that we're second-class citizens, in terms of actual rights.
Supervisor Leland Yee just passing by our cameras there, coming down Market Street. You know, it is contingent after contingent, more than 200 contingents here in the Pride Parade. And the remarkable thing, Dave, when you look at it, is it is not just people who are representing the gay and lesbian or bisexual or transsexual community. It's people from all walks of life coming out to support them.
Yeah, I mean, you see parents here, you see school teachers, both gay and non-gay. You see, you know, business folks, politicians. I mean, you know, it's a time to get recognized and show a lot of support for the community.
And Chris, you're ready? I understand your mic's working now, is it?
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
Fantastic, Chris. You know, one of the things I wanted to ask you about is we've looked through so many of the battles with AIDS and with marriage issues in the gay community. What sort, as we look ahead, what as journalists do you think we'll be covering here in the next couple of years that are going to be the top issue for the gay community?
Well, certainly the battle for domestic partner benefits and equality, marriage equality, these types of issues. You know, just in the last year, since last Gay Pride, you know, it's been a year of milestones. You know, Sharon Smith filed her lawsuit to
after the
give
tragic death of Diane Whipple.
Domestic partners the benefit of being able to sue, you know, for wrongful death, something that they don't have right now. And 2 weeks ago, Carol Migden's bill passed in the Assembly, which would, you know, grant a lot of domestic partner benefits.
You know, many of the people watching right now are familiar with the Diane Whipple case, the woman who was killed tragically by those dogs in San Francisco. And out of that, people have learned about these domestic benefits because her partner, Sharon, wants to file this wrongful death lawsuit, but the law says you're not married, you can't file a wrongful death lawsuit. And these are issues that many people in the straight community probably never really think about. They don't even realize it's an issue, and here it's been brought to the forefront.
Recent polls indicate that a strong majority of American voters support equality in the workplace for gays and lesbians, and, you know, basic benefits like, you know, health benefits for same-sex partners. And so there seems to be a lot of support.
And speaking of support, what you're looking at now is Pets Our Wonderful Support Contingent, otherwise known as PAWS.
That's cute. This is a nonprofit that serves low-income pet owners who are living with AIDS. You know, there have been some studies that have shown that having a pet, when you have something like AIDS, it really is just another support mechanism and really can help you lift you up. And here's an organization that's making sure people living with AIDS have that kind of support. It offers comprehensive services to enable their clients to keep their animal companions.
Yeah.
And some of those companions are right there.
The four-legged kind.
It's a terrific group, and you know, these kinds of organizations sprang up out of the need for community togetherness when AIDS first hit. You know, when AIDS first hit, the community had to take care of its own. Bring food to people who couldn't get out, you know, bathe people, take care of their pets, bring them pets. And, you know, some of these organizations are still around today, and that's a great testament to, I think, people's, you know, persistence in taking care of each other in the community.
And following the pets that we just saw, this is Utopia, which stands for the United Territories of Polynesian Islanders Alliance. As we told you, there are people from all walks of life here making a statement. This is actually the 4th year that this gay Polynesian group has been here. The 45 members are from Samoa, Tonga, Hawaii, you name it. And Lord Martine is with Utopia. You might say Lord Martine is in Utopia. Martine, how you doing out there?
We are queerific. I tell you, we are here with Leka, and she's going to tell us what her contingent is all about.
The contingent is about Polynesians celebrating our dance and love for our culture and our family values.
And you're going to show us a little hula. How do you do it at home?
Shoes together, circling around.
Woo!
Circle.
Are you guys doing this at home?
Look at
Brad's
the
doing it right now.
A free hula lesson here.
Are those real coconuts, Martine?
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
And following Utopia is the Teatro Zenzane Love, Chaos, and Dinner.
Fantastic. You are watching our live coverage right now on WB20 of the Pride Parade here in San Francisco. The sun is out, the smiles are on, the colorful people are here. You can't find a better show on television if you can't come on down here live, so sit back, enjoy. We'll be right back after this commercial break.
You're watching WB20's exclusive live coverage of the San Francisco 2001 Pride Parade, presented by Body Time. For 30 years, the original bath and body care company. More stimulating Pride Parade coverage will continue in a moment on WB20.
This call is free, so let's make it hot. Let's make it wild.
Let's make it fun. It's free.
Let's make it now.
Call 1-800-919-9999. That's 1-800-919-9999. It's free, so call now. Adults only, please. Call us now at 1-900-976-GIRL. $3.99 per minute. Must be 18.
G-I-R-L. Girl, girl, call girl.
The Hot Tubs.
Visit the Hot Tubs for a relaxing, energizing soak and sauna. It's the 60-minute vacation, a great way to pamper yourself. Our meticulously kept private rooms are designed for your comfort, and take advantage of the Hot Tubs early bird specials.
Total relaxation. The 60-minute vacation. The Hot Tubs.
We now return to WB20's exclusive live coverage of the San Francisco 2001 Pride Parade, presented by Bud Light, for the great taste that won't fill you up and never let you down. Now live from Market Street in downtown San Francisco, WB20 anchors Lisa Kim and Brad Hicks.
Welcome back. You're looking at a live shot of Market Street for the annual Gay Pride Parade here in San Francisco.
And look at the
31
parade.
years.
Look at the float going by right now. Fire and snow.
They are hot.
And cold. We hope you're enjoying our broadcast as much as we're enjoying being here in your living room, folks. This is a fun day. It's also a serious day with a serious message. One of the tough issues that the gay transgender community is grappling with is the whole issue of transgender benefits that the people have been struggling with here in San Francisco. The Board of Supervisors, the mayor approved this. This is offering city benefits to people who need sexual reassignment. And Chris Heredia with the Chronicle is here. He's been covering this issue in depth here in the city. Chris.
Hi, yeah, another San Francisco first. You know, transgender men and women have been, you know, fighting alongside with gays, lesbians, and bisexuals for years. And here's another example of you know, the lawmakers in the city coming to their support and you know, granting them the ability to, you know, use their health benefits to do these important procedures for them.
It's still a controversial issue, though.
Very much so. The Chronicle received just hundreds of emails, you know, both in support and against, you know, just saying, you know, they, you know, obviously America, you know, is not like San Francisco in that is not as accepting of, you know, transgender people, but
well, to say that America is not like San Francisco is probably the understatement. The Stud Bar is the next contingent. This is a bar at 9th and Harrison, south of Market here in the city. Lord Martinez down there with a stud. With a stud, yes.
Happy Michael.
Gay Day. Nice to meet you. My name's Michael.
Happy Gay Day to you. What are you guys here doing today?
Thank you.
We have the Stud Bar in San Francisco. We've been open 35 years. Everybody is welcome, and we're celebrating all of our freakiness and funkiness here in San Francisco today.
And this is the 31st parade. Have you been here every year?
It's the 31st, and we've been every single year since it started. Whether walking or dragging or pulled in a cart, one way or another, we make it into the parade.
So is the after party at the Stud tonight?
It could very well be. If you're into big men and their admirers, we're having the Planet Big tonight with big men and their admirers.
Well, Michael, I'm into you, Mr. Stud Man, so I guess the after party is there.
And on that note,
I have to go and be a contingent monitor.
thanks for being with us.
Back to you guys in the booth.
Well, let's continue clubbing here. We got the studs here.
Look at the studs bouncing. The hay is moving. They have got that trailer going up and down, up and down. Well, don't get me carried away.
All right. Okay. As we said before, let's continue clubbing. After the stud contingent, we also have Club 1220. Now, that is Contra Costa's only gay bar, celebrating 25 years of service to the community.
They have theme nights at Club 1220. They've got country western disco, girls' night, drag shows, strip shows, you name it. They have it, and that's what it's all about here. You name it, it's here. I would bet that both at Club 1220 and then also at the Stud Bar tonight, there's going to be quite a party.
I think there has been all weekend long.
I'm sure of it.
Once again, this year's theme is queerific. Not a negative tone, right, Brad?
No,
but
it's
very
not.
positive, breaking out of the mold and being proud of who you are.
You know, every year the parade has a different theme. Last year it was freedom. This year it's queerific, with the gay community saying we're going to re-own this word queer and make it a positive word instead of a negative word, and that's what they have done. And we just see contingent after contingent.
I say they pretty much
that.
own San Francisco this weekend, and especially today, especially downtown.
Here's 1220 right now. Contra Costa, gay bar.
There we go. Once again, some dance music, time to club.
You know, when we say that it's Contra Costa's only gay bar, you need to recognize that, you know, here in the city of San Francisco, of course, there are many gay bars, but the movement is really slow to expand beyond the city of San Francisco, and the fact that Club 1220 is the only gay bar in Contra Costa is an indication of that. But they're going to be partying tonight.
And behind them, the community thrift store coming out to show their support.
Look at this car they have behind them here. The Royal Crown Prince, Jeff, and the Royal Crown Princess, Tish. That would be Tish. Look at that outfit.
I think they're passing out candy.
Hi, Tish.
Color, that's what it's all about today.
That's why the rainbow flag. Every color of the rainbow.
We also have Grand Duke Greg and Grand Duchess Angelina.
This is the royal family that you're seeing here, the royal family of San Francisco. They've been serving the community for, gosh, 28 years now. They've been doing fundraising to benefit women's breast cancer, SPCA, Make-A-Wish, and the Gay Community Center that Mark Leno's been working on. Mark Leno, one of the county supervisors here in San Francisco. Of course, Gavin Newsom, another very popular county supervisor here in San Francisco. And I believe that Lisa Bernard is with Gavin right now. Lisa?
Well, hello. I am with Gavin as well as Kimberly. We're calling them the King of Queen in San Francisco. But that, I guess, is not the story right now. Tell me, Kimberly, about being in the parade today.
Oh, it's a lot of fun. This is my favorite parade. We do all the different parades, North Beach, Asian American Parade, St. Patrick's Day. This one's the best. Tons of energy, a great turnout, and always the weather's great, so you can't beat it.
And is the message part of why this one is so special?
It's fantastic. I mean, it just really celebrates the diversity of San Francisco, which is, in my opinion, the most beautiful, most amazing diversity in the world. And today is definitely a shining example of that.
It is, and now to Martine and Gavin.
Gavin, you are looking queerific. Are you feeling queerific?
Feeling very queerific. I mean, what do you mean?
Can we say queerific?
I got the George W. going. I can't say anything.
How are you feeling today out here?
Getting this every single year. This is the best of the best. Everything that's right about San Francisco's right down this road. It's fantastic community feeling. I love this city, and I'm reminded of it every year this time.
We love you back. Back to you guys in the booth.
All right.
Thanks,
Thank you, Lord
Martine.
Martine.
I can say that probably they're one of the most beautiful couples here in San Francisco.
Oh, well, yeah, Gavin and Kimberly are
They're
icons
engaged, by the way.
Yes, congratulations to them. And we see Kimberly on the news a lot because of her involvement in the DA's office, and Gavin, of course, because being on the Soups.
Who has aspirations, I believe, of becoming mayor of this city.
Well, let him expose that, not you, Lisa Kim. We haven't heard that yet. This is
Hey, we're here to expose the news.
103.7 FM Smooth Jazz on the radio, leading in the fight against AIDS. Things just kind of, oh, listen to that. Smooth operator.
That looks like J-Lo.
Very nice. Everything sort of mellows out when they come by.
We also have special guests here on the set right now, Amanda and Sarah, and they're with Body Time.
Hi.
Thanks for coming today.
Mother and daughter, I believe, right?
Right.
Fantastic. Body Time, one of the big sponsors here of Pride 2001.
Right. That's right.
Great.
Are you having fun?
We are indeed.
What's your best part of the parade so far?
I like the Hawaiians. The dance, that volcano was great. Didn't you think?
How about the Birds of Paradise? That was pretty cool.
That was nice, huh?
So many colors, and you know, you're business owners here in the city of San Francisco, and probably no one knows the importance of the gay, lesbian, bisexual, transgender community in San Francisco as much as the business owners, because it is such a huge clientele. And you say, hey, this is part of the city.
Well, and our employees too. You know, we're faced with that every day, with having to make sure that that there's no discrimination, you know, amongst our staff working together, and that
we've always supported not only the community but also our gay employees. Absolutely.
Now, Body Time is a retail chain.
We've been in the Bay Area for 31 years in July, next month.
Oh, fantastic.
Yep. We started in Berkeley in 1970 on Telegraph Avenue. And at that time, there were a lot of rather innovative businesses. Pete's Coffee, Chez Panisse, the Body Shop. We were the Body Shop then.
Some sort of trademark issue. You had to change the Body Time.
We are now Body Time. We've got 9 stores in the Bay Area and mail order, website.
We're still family owned and operated. My grandmother, her mother started.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't. So it was your mother that actually started this.
My mother and my aunt.
Oh, fantastic.
And now maybe we're going to hit 4 generations, we hope.
I have a 5-year-old daughter.
Oh,
so,
do you?
Yeah. She's in our catalog. It's very cute.
Oh, that's fantastic.
So this is your first time with the parade, or have you been involved before?
It is indeed. No, it's the first time with the parade.
So why did you decide this year?
Yeah, why did you get involved?
Why not?
WB20 talked to us about it. It was a natural for us.
It was, I mean, we've supported diversity in our business. We've always supported diversity politically and socially in our own family.
With the products that we sell, our manufacturers, the people who make product for us, the sourcing that we use to make sure that it's politically responsible.
And all our products are made in the Bay Area, in San Rafael. And,
are they?
And in Berkeley.
Oh, fantastic.
And they have for 30 years. So the money's kept here.
Exactly.
And I think that's really, truly important. Right here in the Bay Area.
You got some great products, great smelling products. You got some great products.
Thank you. We have 3 stores in San Francisco.
You know, Body Time.
You're familiar with them?
It's stuff to make you feel good, basically.
Well, we have a
feel good and smell good.
We have a really big, large variety of products. We've got bath care, facial care.
We have a really high-end, beautiful.
Speaking of high-end and beautiful, look at this right now. Is that high-end and beautiful or what? Is that an old Cadillac it looks like, huh?
I think that's Miss Gay Marin.
I believe you're right.
Maybe he's using some Body Time.
Looks like
I hope
definitely using Body Time.
Fantastic. Miss Gay Marin is followed by the San Francisco Lesbian Gay Freedom Band. And as the band comes by, obviously it'll be harder for us to talk, so we're going to go down to Lisa Bernard and Lord Martine.
They're marching double time.
The band. Woo!
Hello, Brad and Lisa. With me is Jonathan. This is the very first band of its kind in the United States. Tell me about the band.
Hi. Happy Pride, everyone. 21 years marching.
21 years marching in this parade.
I've marched with other groups before. This is my first time carrying a flag with honor.
And what do you think of this parade today?
Oh, great weather, great people lining, and great for Channel 20 for carrying it again and again and again. Thank you.
You're very welcome. Thank you. Back to you guys.
All right, thanks a lot, Lisa and Martine. Once again, strike up the band for the 31st annual San Francisco Gay Pride Parade. We're going to take a break, but we'll be back with much, much more.
Don't go away.
You're watching WB20's exclusive live coverage of the San Francisco 2001 Pride Parade, presented by Body Time. For 30 years, the original bath and body care company. More stimulating Pride Parade coverage will continue in a moment on WB20.
Do you want to know why We Are 18 is the #1 chat line in the world? Because we're hot. We know how to cool you off. And we love to have fun. Connect with us now at 1-800-WE-ARE-18, $2.50 per minute for adults only. Don't let your fantasies drift away. Visit us on the web, www.weare18.com.
Now you can access over 1 million unpublished airfares. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Cheap Tickets has airfares you can't find anywhere else, and they're up to 40% off. Cheap Tickets, the best kept secret in travel for over 15 years.
Order your copy of WB20's broadcast of the 2001 Pride Parade. Just $29.95 plus $6 shipping and handling for the 2-tape set. Order today. Call 1-800-GET-WOLF or order online at wolfvideo.com. Allow 6 to 8 weeks for delivery.
Do you believe in ghosts?
Oh, jeez. Welcome to the club. What club? The Dead Guy in the Trunk Club. I'm not dead. La-di-da for you.
Ghosts.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to WB20's live coverage of the 31st Annual Lesbian, Gay, Transgender, Bisexual Parade here on Market Street in San Francisco. This is the San Francisco Police Department contingent, one of the largest marching contingents in the parade. They are proud to be here because one of the things you'll find out about the San Francisco Police Department is they have not just people working for them from all walks of life, but of course they have to deal with people in the community from all walks of life. So diversity is absolutely key to the success of the San Francisco Police Department, probably more so than any police department in this country.
And then you see right there, Police Chief Fred Lau and his staff, officers proud to be here, especially Judy Purcell. She is the head of the city's homicide department. We spent some time with her earlier this week to get her perspective on how far the gay community has come.
That must be the police. They're coming to arrest me.
Very thrilling, very empowering. It's a lovely experience. People are so happy that we're there.
Every year, Lieutenant Judy Purcell looks forward to San Francisco's Gay Pride Parade. It's a time to celebrate the city's diversity.
You guys look great. You look great in your uniforms, and fire up those sirens.
Take a look as the leader of SFPD's homicide unit proudly marches alongside other officers. Lieutenant Purcell is a decorated member of the San Francisco Police Department.
It's a beautiful day.
And she's also a lesbian.
We're happy to be here. You'll be marching along, and there's hundreds and hundreds of people cheering, and that off in the crowd, well, tucked away in a corner, you'll see a gal or a guy, you know, holding up a badge from some other agency out of the state of California.
Judy Purcell was one of the first female patrol officers to hit the tough streets of San Francisco in 1976. After years of hard work, she made the rank lieutenant. Last year, Chief Fred Lau promoted her from nightside investigations to the elite homicide unit. Purcell says she never lost sight of her identity.
Am I proud of the person that I am? Absolutely. I have no reason not to be. I'm proud of this department for the openness that it has for people of all races and ethnicities, and you know, we have a lovely department. There's none like it, I don't think, anywhere. We embrace everyone, and I think we're very fortunate, all of us.
The veteran officer says the city's Gay Pride Parade is a day to honor the city and the department she proudly serves.
There you have it, the police contingent, the San Francisco police contingent.
Probably the only police department where you would find the rainbow flag stickers in the windows of the police units. Our Skycam coverage down Market Street today on this wonderful sunny afternoon here in San Francisco. Coming up behind the San Francisco police, we have the bidding city for the Gay Games in the year 2006. This is Montreal. These are folks who have come all the way from Montreal, Canada. In fact, they were building their float earlier this week out at Fisherman's Wharf, and just a fantastic group of people. And, in fact, I believe Lisa Bernard and Lauren Martine are down there with someone from the fine folks from Montreal right now.
Yes, now they just got a prize right before our very eyes. Now, what did you get an award for?
I have no idea.
Where is it?
It's an award for visiting.
And you're visiting from Montreal, and you want to host the Gay Games.
We're going to host the Gay Games in 2006, and we're also the Montreal Pride organization called Diversité. We're so glad to be here. Today is actually our national holiday. So a happy Saint Jean-Baptiste, a happy Pride to everybody. Thank you.
Thank you. What do you think of Pride in San Francisco?
This is the most wonderful thing I have ever seen, really.
Take a look
Here
at
are
this back
wonderful.
there. Take a look at this. Take a look at this. I'm telling you, this is terrific right here, right now.
That is, in fact, a truly queerific float we have there. The folks from Montreal, Canada, who've come down. The float is an iceberg, sponsored by Air Canada. As I mentioned earlier this week, they come down from Montreal with their hardware, with their tools, with the materials to build their floats. And we caught up with them out at a warehouse at Fisherman's Wharf, putting together their float. It was wonderful to talk to them and to learn why they have come all the way to San Francisco from Montreal.
We come for a Blue Float for represent Montreal. Tu m'aiderais-tu coller ou séparer?
Montreal and San Francisco may be worlds apart.
We decided to make like a big iceberg.
But for Canadian Jan Lavoie, the two cities are joined by gay pride.
It's very easy for gay people in Montreal. It's like you can do what you want, when you want, where you want. You can like be gay everywhere in the town, no problem.
That's why Jan and his partner have come to the city by the bay to build a float for Sunday's Pride Parade.
We want to say to San Francisco, it's Montreal plus San Francisco, equal, proud together.
Whoa, good hands.
They're joined in an old warehouse on Fisherman's Wharf by dozens of other float builders. Some have seen their floats roll down Market Street before. Others are learning along the way.
We just got a bunch of people who wanted to have a good time and put things together.
It's an assembly line of glue and glitter and a little make it up as you go.
As you see, perhaps from what we're doing here, we're going to look like a big bed.
Sunday morning, more than 24 floats will roll and shimmy and shake down Market Street. Dory Lane has watched the parade from the sidelines for the past 25 years. This year, she's joining in.
I love the parade. I just wanted more floats. So I thought I should add a float, participate. You know, that's how things change.
They get purple and blue.
The Canadians say their rolling iceberg is more about fun than anything else. For them, the thrill of the parade, watching the idea come to life.
You never know what's going to look like, you know. You have to wait until the end. So at the end, when it's beautiful, you're like, good, I win. It's cool.
That was putting together that from Montreal. As Lord Martin mentioned, the judges an award right there. In fact, we have some judges now right down on the parade ground on Market Street who are about to award another award, a big ribbon.
This is a very special award. With me are Kathleen and Jay. Thank you for being here. Tell me what you got.
Well, we're the coordinators. These are our fabulous judges, which represent the diversity of the entire queer community. And on behalf of the parade, we would like to present to you, Martine, and to WB Tunney, who we've been with since 6 o'clock this morning together. And so we think you are the best street act here in the parade.
Honey, I learned everything I know in the street. Okay?
And on that, thank you very much, Martine and Lisa.
Fantastic. No one more deserving. You're watching our live coverage of the Pride Parade on WB20. We'll be right back.
On the WB Monday.
Wow, things are heating up.
Can I get a glass of water? I'm a little thirsty.
I want to marry that woman. Then you might want to get her name. Too bad Mom and Dad always cool things off.
They wouldn't do anything when she kisses me. Never mind.
Seventh Heaven. Then, his will to defend the helpless has no limits.
You do what you have to do.
My hero.
Angel, after Seventh Heaven.
Monday at 8 on WB20.
I've discovered a natural way to lose weight and feel great. Drug-free Dexatrim Natural. Its unique formula works to curb your appetite, while its dual-action metabolizer helps you burn fat and gives you added energy. Dexatrim Natural. Lose weight, feel great.
Use an ordinary pain rub on your arthritis, and everyone knows it. Use odor-free Aspercream instead and get clinically proven fast-acting pain relief nobody knows about but you. Aspirin-free Aspercream. Fast relief no one knows about but you.
Summer Blast is brought to you in part by Naturally Fresh California Fresh Eggs are great any way you make them, for breakfast, lunch, or dinner. So look for the California Fresh Eggs logo, because fresher is better.
So things can get a little heated. Well, what's the big deal? With Springer Cam, we're just watching a slice of Americana. I don't know what all the fuss is about. So enjoy and catch me, Jerry Springer, each weekday at 11 and 5 on WB20.
And welcome back to the 31st Annual Gay Pride Parade here in San Francisco. If you can see right there, you've got the flag, the Annual Gay Pride Parade flag, all colors of the rainbow out here.
Lisa, this started 3 hours ago with the women's motorcycle contingent calling themselves the Dykes on Bikes. It was 600 motorcycles roaring and rumbling down Market Street. Women
I can still breathe in the exhaust fumes, too.
Women from all walks of life, from all corners of the country, wearing all types of clothing. And every year they get it started with the Dykes on Bikes, and it just picks up from there. We saw, the Birds of Paradise, that colorful contingent there. This is the AIDS Food Bank marching down Market Street right now.
We saw the Asian Pacific Islander group, the Muslim group.
Yeah, the thing that has really happened with this parade is it has reached out to all sorts of segments of society who have come and said, we're going to support you. We're going to support right there that rainbow flag, the flag that is symbolic of this movement, designed in 1978 by Gilbert Baker, who himself was in San Francisco. And it has become a flag that you see in every state in this country now. And drive down the Castro, drive down Market Street today, you'll see it all over the place.
It first started out with the symbol of a pink triangle, if you remember, Brad. And then they moved on to this rainbow flag because they wanted to encompass everybody.
That's right, and it has received nationwide attention, the rainbow flag. And in fact, it's just, it is everywhere today here on Market Street. And that's the biggest one we've seen. You can see the balloons and the rainbow colors right there. Queerific is the phrase of the day, if you will. And of course, this day is not over. The parade winds its way from Beale down to 8th Street here on Market. And then everybody, once they're done on the parade route, heads over to the Civic Center.
A big old party.
For a big, big celebration. A number of stages, bands, AIDS testing, you name it, it's going to be there. And so this day continues on and on into a wonderful celebration of not just gay, not just lesbian, not just transgender, bisexual, but a celebration of openness.
And it's one big celebration because we're talking about 1 million people here today, Brad. Not only spectators, but parade participants as well, just like this guy.
That is fantastic. Is Lord Martine down there with that giant flag somewhere? Martine, are you down there?
Hi.
Hi, Martine, what did I catch you doing? You're not in the restroom, are you?
Well, no. Lisa and I were just bonding for a second.
There are many giant flags out here, and you may have seen the one that just passed. They're collecting money for the food bank. It's really an amazing thing.
It's been a queerific day down here on the street in San Francisco, but it's not over yet.
Not over just yet.
What'd you guys think of this year's parade?
It's fantastic.
Better than ever. Yeah. Queerific.
And we have more international guests who are here, spectators, looking at the parade this year. Every year it seems to attract more and more people from all over the world, and it just gets better and better.
Do you guys think there was more enthusiasm this year that is compared to last?
It just keeps building and building and building and building. There is nothing stopping this parade ever.
And we are so proud and so happy to bring you live coverage, you in your home right there, of this fantastic event here on WB20. This station has been committed to this parade for 7 years now with live coverage, 3 hours, 10:30 to 1:30. And it really is an honor for this TV station to serve this role in the community. It's our job as broadcasters to bring to people in their homes what the community is all about. And nothing represents that better than what you're seeing here today with Pride San Francisco.
And this is our first time, Brad and myself, our first time hosting this parade. And there's so many expectations, I believe, but this is a lot more fun and a lot more wild than I had ever anticipated.
It is electric. It is queerific, as they say. It is queerific. The colorful costumes, the colorful people, and of course the serious message behind it all. It's just a great day here in San Francisco, and the celebration continues.
Day to have fun. And thanks once again for joining us for the 31st Annual Gay Pride Parade.
You have a great Sunday. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Watching WB20's exclusive television coverage of the San Francisco 2001 Pride Parade. This year's live broadcast was presented by Bud Light, for the great taste that won't fill you up and never let you down. By Body Time, for 30 years the original bath and body care company. And by 77 Maiden Lane Salon and Spa. Spend an hour or spend a day. Thanks for joining WB20 News anchors Lisa Kim and Brad Hicks for our live broadcast of the San Francisco 2001 Pride Parade. If you blinked or were one of the thousands participating, all the action, drama, and spectacle of the SF 2001 Pride Parade will be rebroadcast one time only, tonight beginning at midnight on WB20. Don't miss it.
In the light of the 21st century, get ready for the future. Power up with guaranteed low prices in every department at Fry's Electronics.